They stopped Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what. Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like...
We'll see who cancels who.
They want you to comply.
Hey.
Hello, what's up?
How's everybody
Hi,
doing?
Hi, all.
Doing okay?
So,
surviving?
Yeah.
Good.
Hold on, Ariana's smiling, and I think it's because I've heard from my own viewers during my stream the other day that you've had quite the week. Online, at least. I don't know about in your personal life. Maybe you had a great week there. But I heard you had. So let's start with that. Why not? I mean, nothing's happening in the world right now. But this does have to do. This wasn't like a personal spat. This was something that has to do with what's going on in the world right now, and they just happened to, come at you.
Yeah. Well, okay, chat. Thanks for ratting me out. I was about to go this whole stream not talking about it, but no, I mean, I made a tweet. Long story short, I made a tweet in 2023, before Kamala Harris decided to run and Joe Biden dropped out, and I said that I was not going to vote for Joe Biden. My decision has been made. To this day, hi David. To this day, I still stand by that decision. Like, fuck Joe Biden, rest in piss when you die. I don't give a fuck. I said what I said. But the thing is, when Kamala Harris decided to run after Joe Biden dropped out, I didn't say anything about Kamala Harris because I was like, okay, well, as a person who's bisexual and a woman of color, like, I understand that there's a lot of marginalized communities that feel like they're going to be in danger with a Trump presidency. So I was like, you know what? Let me not try to drag on Kamala Harris too much. I didn't endorse third party. I didn't endorse Donald Trump. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you guys all the facts. I'm going to tell you guys the harms of the Heritage Foundation, blah, blah, whatever. Anyway, so then fast forward to 2 days ago, I joined a bunch of my other colleagues who are also content creators on Instagram and TikTok mainly, and we called on the Democrats to do something because we feel like they've been very quiet this past week. And this wasn't just me. This was a lot of people doing the same thing, basically saying, hey, Democrats, where the fuck are you? So then, huh?
It's like, what are you doing? Fascism's here. Do you not see the same thing everyone else? I'm in Canada, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And like,
yeah.
Democrats, sorry to interrupt, but it's
you're
blowing my
fine.
mind.
They're just quiet. They're not saying anything. So
quiet is putting it very nicely. Friendly way of saying it.
And I have more to say about that in a second. But basically, I tweeted, I was like, hey, hey, Democrats, where are you? So then this liberal fucking shithead took my 2023 tweet and my tweet calling on Democrats and was like, you voted for this. This was your fault. FAFO. This is what you get. Which is, I was like, okay, dude, like, I was literally at the DNC.
You got FAFO'd.
I got FAFO'd.
Wow.
So then I had all of these insane fucking liberals. Like, when y'all talk about MAGAs and how there's no. These blue MAGAs.
Blue and on is real.
They're bad. So they were like, you fucking whore, shut the fuck up. Like, all across my Twitter today, it was just like, whore, cut. Oh, you're go back to Iran. They're going to throw you off of a roof because you're bisexual. Like, it was all just...
Oh, you got the roof too? I got the roof so many times. Yeah.
No, yeah, roofs are lovely.
So I had to make thankfully it didn't, I didn't lose any followers. I put out a statement. All of my followers were like, nothing can make us hate you. We love you. We know where you were coming from.
Those people aren't real. The Twitter is not real. There are so many bots on there. They manufacture hate. They manufacture back and forths. I wouldn't even I wouldn't take anything from what happened.
Also, liberals. You know who didn't vote for Joe Biden? Liberals. You liberals vote for Joe Biden, so I don't know what to tell you. But I mean, if you want to get mad, a lot less than last time.
If you allow Uncle Mike to offer you some advice, I've been here before.
Please.
And the
Please.
only reasonable way to respond is to double down so hard that it makes their head spin.
Well, none of those.
So
in fact,
not
if you-
only should you respond by saying that you still would not vote for Joe Biden or
Oh, I
Kamala
did.
Harris,
I did.
but you
100%.
also hope he dies. Like you have to really like go further.
Damn, I don't want the fucking CIA at my door.
No, you're not
Like,
gonna.
oh,
You're not
white
making
male
a threat.
privilege, like-
No.
Listen,
You're not
oh,
making a
Homeland
threat. You're
Security,
just saying that
fucking-
you hope that the Lord Jesus brings home one of his angels early. That's it. That's
I think,
it.
Okay.
I think the
You
best
You have
way
to
go
double
about
down.
it- No, I think the best way to go about it is to just troll them and be like, "Did you vote for Joe Biden in 2024?" And they're gonna give you one of two answers. They're gonna be like, "Yes, I did," and then you got to be like, "You fucking moron! That's why we lost. You were supposed to vote for Kamala Harris."
You guys are clearly better at this
And
than I
then
am.
if they say, "No, I didn't vote for Joe Biden because they voted for Kamala Harris," you should be like, "Oh, so you didn't vote for Joe Biden either? Neither did I. We're the same, you know."
I love
Yeah.
this. I love
That's
this
the way to
Joker
handle
energy.
this.
This is.
I think
this
that the
is
best way to
this is the
deal with
way.
it is
This is the way.
just turn off the comments, turn off replies, turn off comments, and don't even interact. I've been turning off comments on most of my tweets now, and it's fantastic. I tweet whatever the fuck I want, and comments are turned, or it's comments they're on for people I follow. So if you're a sane person, then you could reply.
See, I need.
But anyone else, fuck off.
I didn't know that you
No,
could even
I'm
do that.
doing that too.
Yeah, you
I've
can
been
do that.
doing that, and it's been so peaceful. It's been
Yeah, it's
so
great.
quiet.
Wow.
Like,
I need that hit of the tweet going viral because the more comments you get, the more the Twitter algorithm goes, "Oh, people want to see this. Let's post. Let's send it out more." So I don't shut the comments. I just don't read them.
listen, my mental health, like, I'd rather not, because these people are really deranged. Like,
Yeah, they come at you
deranged.
hard. They try to find out your personal information. They lob every insult that they can at you. And all these people don't even realize that if you took the Jill Steins, the Claudia De La Cruzes, and you added them all
Wouldn't make a
together,
difference.
it still wouldn't have made a difference. And even in the event somebody did vote third party in a swing state, like I would not make that decision, and I don't think you would either. But even if that happened, like it's incumbent on the politician to mobilize voters and to win those people over. The only time I think it's cool to voter shame is if they literally voted for Donald Trump because he was openly fascistic. So I understand if you're making a lesser of evil vote, but like if you don't do that, like I just feel like the vote shaming of third party voters and leftists is so like it's ass backwards because the onus should be on the politicians every single time. And this is what this is the point I've been trying to make for years. So I mean, if all these liberals, if they're talking about tweets, if they go back to my old videos from like 2016, I'm like, fuck Hillary Clinton, like the day before the election. And I'm like, I'm voting for Jill. That was my energy. I mean, I've since changed. Like I am more open to harm reduction and whatnot. But like even like the most liberals, like the fucking final boss of liberalism, Bill Maher, even he in 2000 voted for Ralph Nader. They all at some point acknowledged that like the Democratic Party is not sufficient. They're not left-wing enough. They're not adequately representing the base. And then as they get older, they kind of get more entrenched. But like they just have no empathy, and they don't understand why you as a Muslim woman would be disinclined to support an administration that's doing a genocide. If you can't empathize with that, I think you're literally psycho.
It's just kind of insane because and it's not just me. I don't know if you guys know Qasim Rashid. He's really big on Twitter.
He's great.
But yeah, he's great. He's my mentor. But a lot of people who are Muslim and Middle Eastern and spoke out for, against the genocide, we are becoming the blue MAGA scapegoat. Yeah. And they're like, even Qasim wrote a Substack about it. Like they're coming after us and they're basically like, it's your fault why Kamala Harris lost. And it's like, no, the reason why Kamala Harris lost is because the Democrats cannot do any critical thinking or do any self-reflection. Like you guys weren't listening to anyone. You weren't even listening to your own advisors. Obviously, Kamala Harris wasn't able to have a full campaign like most candidates do. I'll give her that. And she's a Black woman for sure. Those things all entailed her story. But you guys can't take any kind of criticism. That's your problem. And I said what I said. I'll say it again. I would never vote for Joe Biden again. I'm gonna celebrate when he dies. I don't care for the dude. But
they're also going after powerless groups, right? Like, what's the point of making all of these groups filled with people who are like, I can't vote for genocide. I find this to be disgusting. It's abhorrent. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. So I want to use the one thing that I think I have, which is just not to support this regime. That's it. And then they're going to go after that group, or they're going to go after the other groups they think are hurting them, or throwing like trans people under the bus now, even though that's like clearly the first target on Donald Trump's like agenda of people to go after. Like all these strategies, they're ridiculous. You can't fucking pod save America your way out of this problem where you think like you're suddenly going to get the weirdest and worst voters to, oh yes, the moderate centrist who loves war but understands the tough on border policy but is fiscally economic. And like these people, I think they're sick. I think at this point, anyone who's actively still pushing for this old agenda, when like AOC right now, she should be in charge of the Democratic Party instead of whatever that dude is who's got like throat cancer, who can't speak publicly. And like that's why there's no response. That's why there's no one active. Like AOC has the power.
I heard Chuck Schumer. He was talking about how aroused we all are. So I think that's the messaging we need right now.
Wasn't he like, yeah, they're trying to defund the police, so that we don't want to.
They're very aroused.
Yeah, they're very aroused.
Wow, that's a great choice of words, Chuck. No, and you know what? It's like I understand Schadenfreude of like somebody fucking around and finding out. I get that, but I think that so many people are picking the wrong targets. Like after the election, there was this guy who he was on TikTok. I can't remember his name. I responded to it at the time, but he was like, listen, you know, Latinos voted for Donald Trump. So if you know one of them with an undocumented family member, here's the number to ICE. And he shared that liberals were sharing that. And that is so demented to me because first and foremost, if a conservative who is a Latino voted for Donald Trump, their immigrant family member had zero say in the matter. They had no choice whatsoever. I have conservative family members that voted for Donald Trump, to my chagrin. Should I be punished? I mean, a lot of people would say punish him anyway, but like we aren't not responsible for the actions of our family members. It reminds me of like Trump back in 2015, 2016, when he was saying we have to punish the families of ISIS. Like it's terrorist logic to think that like normal people who had nothing to do with this should be punished. And even with Republicans, like you all know, I got a lot of smoke for the people who voted for Donald Trump, but at the same time, that doesn't mean fuck them. They're gone forever. Like, write them off. Like, bring them back. Try to rehabilitate them. Try to get people to have class solidarity. Re-educate them. Re-education. David, that's a great idea.
Gitmo.
Re-education. Have like a summer camp where we place them in these camps and they can't leave until they're re-educated. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like seriously, like. It's just, I don't understand this approach. And part of it is people are just like mad and they want to take it out on somebody, but like they always take it out on the people who have no money and no power. And I think that is fundamentally ass backwards and fucked up. And people have to be a little bit more graceful towards like fellow Americans. Unless they voted for Donald Trump, then have at it. I'm not going to
I'm sorry. I got so little empathy for Trump voters at this point. 2016, I could see you like just being like, let's try something different, whatever. And like, you're not paying attention, didn't see all the racist shit he was already doing. But like the second time around, no, there's no excuses. I'm sorry, you voted for this.
Well, this is the third time, David, so there's even less.
Yeah, the third time around. Like, there's no excuse. And it's wild to see some people who were like skeptical of him back then be with him, like Joe Rogan, for example. Like Joe Rogan, who had like criticized him in the past, but now he's like full in MAGA. Like, how do you go from skeptical to full in? You're really like fucking
every single member of big tech, Jeff Bezos, Sundar Pichai, fucking
them. I get because they financially benefit. Yeah. I get them because they financially benefit by cozying up to him. Rogan is going to benefit regardless of what he does. Like it's just people like that are so weird to me. Like there really is something wrong with your brain at that point for you to go from skeptical to like all in.
Mm-hmm.
I think COVID broke a lot of people's brains. And with each crisis that we see, I feel like it further breaks more and more people's brains. COVID, what else happened since COVID? I feel like it's been 25 years. There's just so much. I can't keep up. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Actually, it's going to be 5 years. I think that's crazy, actually.
Wow.
Like it doesn't 5 years ago.
I feel like we're still in it. Like,
Yeah. I think what happened
it's the same
is
era.
Yeah, no, it is. I've kind of like I've classified everything, and I was talking with my husband's Nona about this like last weekend, that everything in life feels like it was either before COVID or after COVID. Like I've like disaggregated things like, oh, was that before
BC.
COVID? Yeah, it's the new BC,
AC.
exactly, because that's when so many things had changed because of COVID. It kind of like recalibrated society in a fucked up and even more dystopian way, and things that were fringe are now mainstream, like anti-vax sentiment. Like we might vote to confirm RFK Jr.
It
Speaking
looks
of,
like he will. Like,
I think he probably will. I think they all are going to get.
By the way, he vaccinated all of his kids.
I know.
Right.
I saw that.
So
I saw that.
But he
Yeah.
did mention the part where he regrets doing that, which he's mentioned before. But in his intro, actually, it's so hilarious to be like, "You're the anti-vax guy." No, actually, I'm very pro-vaccine now. Like, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're the anti-vax.
I believe
That's why
in
people follow
nothing.
you. It's just like, I love vaccines. They're really fantastic. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, just at least own it. Like, don't treat me like I'm stupid. Own who you are. Clearly, the shit that you said, just own it, because you're going to be confirmed anyways because of the fucked up system. So just own who you are.
He's a good example of useful idiots allowing him to get in. Like you were just talking about Joe Rogan for someone like Trump. Like think of all the people who let this pseudoscientific quack rise to the levels of prominence he has now. Like when you go through the list of stuff that he believes, it's wild. It's the stuff that like I wouldn't even think, let alone say out loud publicly to people around me at fundraisers all the time. Like
I didn't even know half the shit he believed. Like I didn't know that he said COVID doesn't infect Jewish people and Chinese people. Like
Ashkenazi Jews specifically.
Okay. I don't even know if my like crazy MAGA uncle believes that shit, and he believes all the conspiracy theories. So like I'm curious to ask him, like, are you on the same page? He'd probably be like, that's a little bit too far for me. It's just it's so wild, and he's going to be in charge of our health for the whole nation, and that has extreme consequences. And not just like in the short term, if he's confirmed, after a while, we'll see some headlines here and there, we'll forget about it. But like down the line, that's when it's really going to come back to bite us in the ass. In the same way that like so many things that are happening right now are the result of Ronald Reagan and deregulation and all that. It's still coming back. So like this is like a down payment into a fucked future with all of these people, and it's so hard to process all of it because it's so much. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, there's already been it's been a week and a half, and it feels like it's been like 6 months at least. Like there's so much. Like there's so much that I wish I could talk about, and I feel bad the stuff that I haven't talked about because people may think I don't care about it or something, but it's just like there's too much for me to even process that I can't possibly, and I don't want to be that absorbed. I'm one person. It's one thing to be on like a team or working at like a news network or something. You can spread around the misery, but like when you're one person, you have to absorb it all. It's too much for me to take in. I can't read everything. It's not possible.
Right.
I don't think you're supposed
like a day
to.
of mourning
You just
today.
can't.
Like normally wouldn't it be a day of mourning? Wouldn't everyone be like, we just experienced a monstrously huge national tragedy? Not talking about how only white pilots know how to fly planes. Like there's not even the mourning anymore. There's not even like this was a bad thing that happened. We can all like acknowledge, no matter what your politics are, that this was a horrifying major tragedy that happened, right? But
well, to your point, Lance, like the fires were still raging on, and Trump was talking about it's because of Gavin Newsom and some small fish and lesbian. Yeah, like it's just
like the water was turned off. Apparently he turned the water on. That was turned off. Like what?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to like how about the money for condoms for Hamas that Biden apparently was giving Hamas for condoms.
Oh my god!
It's like just insane. There's so much insane
for
shit.
Bombs in Hamas, mind you, he missed it. You guys realize he's talking about Gaza in Africa, right?
I had no idea what he was talking about.
I found that out after the fact.
Do you have
the
scoop?
Okay, yes.
If you
I
post
did this
pictures
video
of
about
this,
this.
What
have you
happened?
seen people
Wait,
flood with.
hold on.
Okay,
I made a whole video about this literally 30 minutes ago. Okay, so Donald Trump goes on and he's like, oh, I just realized that we were spending $50 million on condoms to Gaza, and guess what? Hamas was using them to build bombs. So everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it turns out there's a province in Africa called Gaza, and I forgot what the name. It's like I forgot the name of it, but it's a province in Africa named Gaza province. He mistook that province and, you know, the contraceptives that we sent to them to Gaza, the Gaza Strip. But even then, when you crunch the numbers, we only sent $7 million in contraceptive aids in total. So I don't know where he got that $50 million from, because that $50 million would be the equivalent to 1 billion condoms. So he's basically saying that we sent 1 billion condoms to the Gaza Strip. It was Mozambique. Yes, Mozambique. Sorry, I forgot the name.
There's so many photos. I don't know if they're AI or whatever, but there's all these pictures of all these inflated condoms, like flying bombs. And like,
crazy.
People reply with them, they're like, "Do you support these bombs? Fucking the Hamas bombs." I was like, kinda.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Biden confused the Gaza province with Gaza in any context? Like the conversations we'd all be having, that media would be having for days about, which is true about his brain. Like, but Trump does it, and it's just like, oh, Trump is so not disgusting, just so, but he is. But the discussion around him is just, oh, he's so bizarre. What a weird statement. But no, that is crazy. I had no idea that's the mistake he made. Wow.
Yeah, I just saw it, and I
mistake,
saw
who knows?
like the headlines about it being a lie, and I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I can't.
Yeah,
I
it's just too
can't.
much.
I can't do it. With that being said, we do have a guest here today. So this guest has been a longtime friend of me. I think we've known each other for like a decade at this point. He used to work for the Jimmy Dore Show. He quit during COVID, and now he is a full-blown Blue MAGA K-Hive Hillary Clinton supporter. Ron, welcome to the show.
What's up? Hello, everybody from Los Angeles, actually, amidst the fire. I'm very angry at the lesbians who started it, but I'm going to get over it eventually.
As you should
And if anyone's curious, the Eaton Fire is, I may or may not check my Watch Duty app neurotically every couple hours, but the Eaton Fire is at 99%, and the Palisades Fire is at 96% containment. So
good.
So a little bit, you know, they're getting there. It's been a weird couple weeks, and the fires were very, very, very frustrating. You know how easy it is to be cool if you're a fire? Just be in the right place. That's all you have to do. Just be in the right place. Be on a stove. Be on be amidst a Michelin star chef. And these fires, they really effed it up. They were in all the wrong places. Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump were standing right next to each other in a field. Fires, nowhere to be found. So no friend of mine, none of them. But good to be here. And I'm going to be promoting my movie, which is ironically called 1 Billion Condoms. So thanks for having me.
Nice.
Perfect
Nice.
timing.
Actually. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, when we're talking about 1 billion condoms, are we saying 500 million are ribbed, the other 500 million are not ribbed, or 250,000 extra large, pre-lubricated, numbing?
Hey,
like, what are we talking about?
Dad is watching this chat.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I always
Way to
forget
go,
about
Mike.
that. I know. Like, my mom will like sometimes say, "Oh yeah, I watched your show," and like I'll probably be talking about like wanting somebody to die when she chimes in. I'm like, "Sorry, mom." You know?
Yeah, there's not a lot of PG sections.
No, it's not really a PG show.
Yeah. I blame Matt for that. Because I take no responsibility like a Republican. Yeah. Sorry. But
Okay,
Ron,
what's the movie about? Can you explain?
Yeah,
the
tell us
billions
about
of
your movie.
condoms?
I saw the movie, by the way.
You saw the movie.
I got a private not a private screening, but like an exclusive screening with a few people. I thought it was awesome. Like the fact that you put together a whole ass movie and it was damn good, genuinely like super impressive.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, my movie is called Left It Wall. It is out now. You can get it on Apple TV. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it on YouTube Movies. So you don't even need to leave YouTube to see it. And it'll be and it's on Xbox. Then you can buy it on DVD for people who like the physical media.
It's on Xbox too.
And yeah, it's on the Xbox thing where
Nice.
you get your movies.
Okay.
And that it's on like cable on demand and stuff like that too. But that's just like type it in on your smart TV. But it's a comedy loosely based on the GameStop thing that happened a few years back. And we were actually, before Dumb Money, they never reached out to us because our movie's totally fictional and a fake story, and theirs was not. So they were probably pretty different. So they never reached out to us. But yeah, it's a comedy about family, but it's under the backdrop about that situation. And it's a really fun cast for any comedy and podcast fans. The Dollop guys are in it. Gareth Reynolds plays my brother. I play the main character because I couldn't afford to cast anybody else, so I had to take the bullet there. And Eddie Pepitone's in it. Dave Anthony's in it. Graham Elwood's in it. Sally Mullins is in it. It's a fun film. We had a really good time. And Mike, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I have your testimonial that I'll be sharing. So thank you for that as well.
Nice.
And yeah, that's my movie.
And you know that I really liked it because I was hurt because I had floated an idea to Ron where I would be the star of a remake of Orgasmo, a really good movie by the creators of South Park, and he turned it down. So I'm like, okay. But nonetheless, I put
well,
aside
it's not
my
too late.
feelings.
There's always something else on the horizon.
Okay.
So don't worry, it's not on the list.
That's
sorry,
fair.
it was
That's
left
fair.
left of wall. Was that the name of it?
Left
of
at wall. Left at wall.
Check it out.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
asking in the
Left at
chats.
wall.
Left at
And
wall.
I can I'll drop a link to the trailer if people want to check it out as well. I can drop it in the private chat and yeah, however y'all want to disseminate it. But yeah, that's been pretty exciting. It came out on Friday. It's been
Cool.
it's been a couple years in the making. So it's been nice to
That's really
finally get
cool.
it out there to the world.
Yeah, no, that's cool. How have things been for you? Because when you came on, I let everybody know who didn't know that you're no longer part of the Jimmy Dore show. You've
It's
since
been
gotten
years.
a job at.
Do people still not know that? It's been years.
I don't think they've caught up with your new arc where you're working for MSNBC. You are a Hillary Clinton
Right.
supporter.
Yes.
So tell us about your evolution into Hillary Clintonism.
That was the plan all along. It was a big long game that I was part of that ends with me anchoring at MSNBC. No, right. I quit that show years ago, for a long list of reasons. And since then, I kind of...
Huh? Yeah, we need some reasons.
Spill the tea.
Was he a bad boss? He seems like a great guy.
You just put out some shade. You're like, for a long list of reasons.
It's the only reason people watch us.
Well, we need a good clickbait title, so you have to say something super sensationalist.
People
I'm joking. You don't have to.
No. I honestly, I don't have. If I spilled the tea, it would just be like a little like trinkle, and then the bag would just fall in somebody's lap, and they'd be like, "Well, that was really anticlimactic." But I mean, look, we had our political disagreements, and I'm talking a couple years ago because I don't follow the show. I don't know what it's up to now, but we had disagreements over COVID. We had disagreements over Kyle Rittenhouse. We had disagreements over social issues. But to say that's why I quit the show would be a gross oversimplification to the point where even if none of those disagreements, like even if all those disagreements didn't even exist, I would not still be working there. And the reason is to just try to explain it in a normie way. I feel like it went from being a hard-hitting political comedy show to like a YouTuber-centric YouTube show about YouTube. No offense, y'all. But and to me, I had no interest in doing that second thing. So for me, it just was not interesting or fun or fulfilling anymore. So it was time for me to go. So you could bite all that, and it's a pretty long list, but yeah, I had to quit, and I did. I wanted to just sort of dismount from the space altogether for a long list. I just really wanted nothing to do with it anymore. But then Jordan from Status Quo called me, and I like Status Quo. I like the fact that they break stories and stuff like that. So when he asked me to get involved some there, I thought about it, and I said yes. And I still do some stuff over there. I'll occasionally host there. I'll do some segments for them. And I like that. And then in the meantime, I started getting into production. I have a podcast series called 1000. That's an interview series. And I'm making movies. I got a documentary in production right now. And I got my next feature in production right now. And Left at Wall is out now. So I've tried to kind of dovetail, kind of into that space now, basically.
Yeah, it's nice to see you spread your wings. I think I've always maintained that you have been an amazing comedian. And once you left the Jimmy Dore show, the quality and the comedy took a massive nosedive. I don't think that your replacement has the wits that you have in terms of comedy. He's trying so hard, but it's not working. But so I think you're talented, and I'm glad that you're kind of like venturing out. I'm. It's nice to see good people like kind of get what they finally are like are owed. But like this is, I feel like the beginning for you. So it's nice to see you with the movies and just spreading your fucking wings, man.
Well, that's kind of you say. And David, we can address the elephant in the room. It's ironic. I was with my editor yesterday. We were working on some stuff, and he, prior to us working together, he was watching some of the videos on, I think it was on RFK's charade. Yeah, which by the way, if that's on the docket to talk about, I'm down. I might throw
I would
something.
love to hear your thoughts about RFK, actually.
Oh my God. But anyway, the video he was watching happened to be one of yours. And I noticed, I was like, man, it's ironic you're watching that guy. I think he's still mad at me. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I was like, we got
David's
into
Canadian.
an argument.
I'm not mad at you.
You're not?
No.
We're cool. I was like, we got it. I don't even remember what it was
years
about.
ago.
It was
No,
the
anyone
biggest
that
heart in
doesn't
the
know,
world.
I was on Jimmy Dore's show once, and once or twice, but the first time I was on, me and Ron had a yelling match at each other.
We did. And I
About
honestly,
what?
even
What
at
happened?
the time, I honestly don't even remember.
I think it's
I'm
about.
not even
I
kidding.
think it was about voting or something. I don't know.
It was about some strategic thing, and
Yeah.
and to be fair, I mean, what I do remember is something kind of set me off, but I wasn't set off at you. I was set off on the topic itself, and you just happened to be the recipient. But I remember the next, like, people react very amazingly to those type of things. I mean, I remember I got emails. I don't know what you got, but I got emails of people were asking me if I was okay. Like as if we stabbed each other. They were like, I was like,
No,
I had
I
a more
remember
heated conversation with my dad like the other day. What do you mean, am I okay? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm a cliche Italian American. We all just kind of yell at each other occasionally. But like I'm fine. I'm sure he is too. And then it even escalated to the point of just like ridiculous reactions that I put out a tweet saying like, look, I don't hate this guy. And I added you and you didn't respond and say you didn't.
I think I
hate
just
me. So I thought
ignored
maybe
every.
you
I was
did.
just like, I don't want to deal with. It wasn't you or it wasn't. Well, Jimmy. It was Jimmy, but it was the audience. Like that, the audience of that show was so toxic. I just didn't want to even like engage in any conversation around it anymore. So it was just like I just avoided like any interaction about that or anything else. It was like, all right, I don't need to talk to these people. So it was like it wasn't because I was mad at you, just because like I don't need to deal with this drama.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I mean, hey, in the years that follow, I got some death threats from some members of said audience, so I'll take your word for it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
No,
That's it. Nothing else.
What? Oh, no. Well, I mean, I've also gotten. I mean, it's kind of in the time that I've quit, I've gotten the gamut. I mean, I'm not going to paint a total broad brushstroke because I wouldn't be fair on a show with over 1 million subscribers. So I've gotten these incredibly sweet emails of "we miss you" and like we really loved what you contributed, and some of the people no longer watch the show. Maybe a few do. I don't take a survey, but and then I've gotten you're a traitor. You've betrayed us. I've gotten death threats. I've gotten so it really runs the gamut.
When you get the traitor emails, do they spell traitor as in Trader Joe's? Because they always do that.
Oh yeah. No,
The people who love using the word traitor never really know.
Yes, I'm an importer exporter.
Yeah. When Ron was still on the Jimmy Dore show, this was like 2019, and Jimmy was coming to Portland, and I was supposed to go to that show in Portland and be on the panel, and Ron, I think, was supposed to go too, but for whatever reason, you didn't go.
I remember that.
And
yes,
I told Jimmy, I'm like, listen, man, like me and Jimmy were kind of beefing behind the scenes about the Carlos Maza Steven Crowder thing. I did not like the way that he responded to that, but also I was having anxiety, so I felt like he would think it was a cop out. But I'm like, listen, man, I just have too much anxiety right now, and I don't want to deal with the crowd. I can't do it. And so I didn't go. And I saw a comment on Twitter or YouTube, and it was like, both Ron and Mike are traitors. They didn't show up to Jimmy Dore's show in Portland. Do you remember that? I think I told you about that.
I think we talked about it off, Mike. I don't think I saw it at the time, though. I didn't know that was.
It was probably Jimmy's account.
That was so egregious.
It was Liptard01.
I mean, I could find out if you need me to.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead,
I just remember that the last time I actually watched Jimmy Dore's show, like there was a slow drop off, but like the last time I was like, all right, I can't watch that anymore. Is the time I saw him yelling at his wife during a live stream. Like, this is so weird and awkward and disgusting, and I'm never tuning in again. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That was like, it was so wild. Like, wow, how do you treat people that work for you? Not to mention your wife. Like, Christ.
It's a major red flag. Yeah, it's funny. This is bringing up all the old memories of like the Jimmy Dore / Sam Seder debate in like 2017. I remember before I really like got super into Majority Report and Michael Brooks, I was on Progressive Voices show when I was kind of first blowing up, and he was doing interviews, and he was like, "So what is your take on the Sam Seder versus Jimmy Dore beef?" And I'm like, well, you know, I'm on Team Jimmy, of course, because I knew Jimmy Dore, and I'm like, but I will say I'm a huge fan of Matt Bender. I think he's hilarious.
Yes,
that was like my one. No, I literally said that. You can go back and watch it. And I was like, yeah, I love. Wow. Yeah, no, I actually said that. And then through like your commentary, I found Michael Brooks after that, and I'm like, oh shit, Jimmy Dore is like wrong about everything. So then I flipped. But yeah, it's funny how there's like all these old like beefs, and you could relive them all through like the Progressive Voice channel, and it's so funny. Like he documented all of this, and now the Vanguard is documenting all of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, people like it. All right, all power to them. You know, I mean, I kept it at arm's length then. I keep it further from arm's length now, and that's just that's just the way it goes. Like I'm just like, whatever, you know. And again, like that kind of goes into why I quit. You know, I like. Well, yeah, I mean, I like talking about actual things and issues and stuff that's really going on, and I just it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I just don't care what Ryan Grimm tweeted today. I just like I just don't care. I mean, so sometimes the guy tweets some stuff that I find a little off-putting and annoying. Sometimes I agree with him. That's life. I don't think it's that interesting to talk about.
He had a weird obsession with Ryan. I don't know what was up with that.
Although I will.
Bizarre.
I don't. And by the way, like I'm not saying I agree with everything the guy does, but it's
it's like you obsessed so much over Ryan Grimm of all people. Like, what? Like, why? he's not really like out of anyone you could think of to be like to hate. Ryan Grimm is just so like he's just a normal person. Like,
yeah, there's not really a lot offensive about him. Although to give Jimmy Dore credit, which I never have to do, but I will. It did make me LOL the first time I heard him say that Ryan Grimm did a grim job. About some story. I'm like, okay, a little bit.
Wow. I'm starting to get the Jimmy Dore audience now that Mike said that.
Well, we can.
No, I mean, honestly, I don't really have much to say about Jimmy Dore nowadays because he's sort of like I'm sure his channel is still immensely popular among its subscribers because he's got 1 million followers.
Actually, no.
Let's see.
It's going down. The
anti-vax
stuff
is
easy to see these days.
Yeah. Compare his channel to mine just to give you a sense
of
like
his name.
Compare his channel to David's. Like,
let's just be unbelievably petty and look at the numbers live on the street.
Honestly, I never hear about him anymore. Like, if you told me he hasn't done a show for like 6 months, I'd be like, okay, yeah, probably. Like, I don't know.
It depends on the topic. Some videos only get 33,000 views, which is really low for a channel that has 1.48 million subscribers. 33,000 would be an abysmal amount of your like returning customers, but some others get higher views if it happens to be topics that I think everyone likes, like Dr. Fauci, ouchie, and the lab leak theory. The DeepSeek AI system has crushed the Americans. AOC blows. Democrat Jon Stewart.
His biggest recent video, 235K, which is big for him. It's about conspiracy around 9/11. Congressman blows the whistle on 9/11.
Still juicing that fucking bone, eh?
Wow. That's his biggest video. My video today, just for comparison's sake, let me look really quick.
Mike, you've been killing it though, so that's not fair to compare yourself to.
Mike, you're like in the top
346K.
Yeah.
And that's your 9/11
Jesus.
video got 346K.
Mike's 9/11.
But that's not even like a thing to say about Jimmy Dore necessarily. I mean, obviously he covered it and it got he's in the year 2025 he's doing 9/11 conspiracy, sure. But I mean, the reason it got so many views isn't because Jimmy Dore covered it. The reason it got so many views is because it just shows you like what the YouTube audience is looking for. Like they're not looking to be educated on like what's currently going on that can affect them right here, right now, in the modern day and in the future. They're looking to discuss 24-year-old,
24-year-old,
24, almost 24-year-old conspiracy theories that have no bearing on like them today whatsoever.
Well, for Jimmy Dore's audience, they were a young age of 45 when 9/11 happened. So it's still recent memory for them.
Right. Yeah. Also, Kyle surpassed Jimmy Dore in subscribers, so I feel like since that has happened, he's kind of been like defeated in
How do you
the
like them
battlefield of ideas. And now TYT, we've got to either bring them to
Oh
heel
God.
or pass
Oh
them.
my God.
Yeah, Ron, I was curious about your thoughts because before me and Ron have been like friends throughout all of this, but there was an awkward phase where like I was still part of TYT Network. And
awkward on your
they
end.
were going on.
Talked
Well, it
about
was.
this.
I just didn't know
talked
because we
about
didn't
this.
text
It was-
each
it
other.
was- and I even clarified that. I'm like, dude, there was
I know.
never any.
This is only awkward
like,
for you.
All I'm gathering is that
man.
everyone's had beef with you at some point, seemingly.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I don't have beef with that. I mean, I have beef with nobody, and I never saw it
that's
that
true.
way. I always saw
You
it as
don't.
you are your own person. I judge you as Mike Figueredo, and I assumed that was both ways, and it was. So
It was the
always-
TYT Jimmy Dore proxy wars that we were kind of like collateral damage in, maybe.
Only
I
if
thought.
we chose to be, and I
True.
chose not to be.
Yeah.
So if you chose poorly, Indiana Jones style,
I did not.
that's
I did
just-
not.
You had to. I mean, but yeah, like well, you mentioned that before, and I'm like, hey, dude, if you felt that way, I appreciate you talking about it with me. But just so you know, it only went one way. I never felt
That's
that
true.
way. I
And you
never
did
felt-
reach out to, you're like, hey, I'm talking about Anna, but I like, that doesn't mean anything about you,
Yeah.
obviously. But I was curious about your like take on TYT as well. We can get to substance, but
Oh,
like,
I-
we love the
I
shit
think-
talking. But I'm dying to know
Yeah.
because I haven't heard your recent thoughts. I know the drama isn't necessarily your cup of tea, but I'm just curious because I know you have thoughts.
No, the reason I feel very strongly about them and what they're doing, as somebody who lives in Los Angeles, especially, some of the stuff they say, especially these days. I mean, look. Now, there's a chance with these fires. There's a good chance that a power company was behind this, similar to the way it happened with PG&E up in Northern California, because they don't upgrade their infrastructure so they can give the shareholders more money at the end of the year. You couple that with climate change, severe winds that we had ample warnings about, and that's probably responsible for this. Now, there's the Cenk Uygur theory of maybe it was just a homeless guy with a marijuana cigarette. Now, there's a chance that it might be that second thing. Except no, there's not. They parrot just ridiculous sentiments about Los Angeles. You couple that with propaganda, you couple that with this latest doozy.
Yeah.
I think
DEI
at the
is
end
real.
of
What the fuck is this? I haven't seen
Yeah.
this yet.
Oh, you haven't seen this? I saw this briefly. I didn't really get to digest it.
Oh, the
But,
centrism is so enlightened. My word, look at this. It's of a higher
Centrism
form
is
now.
centrisming.
Oh yeah, just
Well,
right to the middle.
I don't know what
Amazing.
y'all think, but I just think they know their network's not doing that great, and so they're just drifting for that MAGA cash. I mean, and the stuff they say
Polymarket
about
Studios,
Los Angeles. Oh yeah, is that like some crypto thing? So I've heard about that, but I can't speak on it.
Yeah.
That's like a crypto thing.
It's
Okay.
awful. Lance, tell them about
It's
the
a
shit
crypto-
they're betting on.
Well, it's just a crypto gambling website where you can gamble on anything. When are the LA fires going to be put out? When is the genocide of Palestinians going to end? Those kind of things, like fun things you want to gather around the dinner table with the family and be like, hey, I put a couple of your Ether tokens and your Haktua coins on the genocide ending tomorrow.
I still
so
can't get
crazy.
over. I still can't get over them having conspiracy theories about homeless people or whoever was responsible for the fires, and then at the same time, their sponsor Polymarket had bets you can place about whether fires would start in different parts of California, like specific
Oh,
parts
right.
of California.
Right. There's
As
a bit
if
of a
some-
financial incentive
As if
to
some
become an
psycho
arsonist.
investor, some psycho bettor wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to put all the money on this and then drive over there and set the fire so I win. You know? Like,
Well,
insane.
outside of the arson, the rest of it's legal, isn't
Oh
it?
my god.
Well, I'll tell you this about Los Angeles too. When he endorsed Rick Caruso, that was, I mean, I was really, really furious about that. And the way
Well,
he
it was the land thing, right? It was basically the fact that he was going to actually not do rent control, price freezes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This was going to be great for
Yeah.
homeowners. That
This
kind
is-
of seemed to be what it sounded like.
That's exactly what it was. And a lot of people didn't realize that. A lot of people, bought into his bullshit framing of like, well, Karen Bass is the establishment, but which, by the way, is true. Karen Bass.
Yeah, they
And
both
by the
suck.
way, like what she has done, I think is inexcusably terrible. But for him to then take a victory lap, do you have any idea how worse off we would have been if Rick Caruso was mayor? That guy, his plans for Los Angeles was to basically make it into a giant shopping mall. When all the fires happened, he just got a bunch of private firefighters to protect his developments. He just would have done a public version of that if he was mayor. We would have been infinitely worse off if he was in charge. He pretty much wanted to put the homeless in a freaking camp. Like literally, that's what this guy wanted
Would you
to
say
do.
to concentrate them into a certain area? Concentrate them into a camp? Interesting.
Concentrate them into a camp.
And so like there's no way that we would have been better off if he was at the helm. But they repeat this straight up propaganda because, they're property owners. And that's propaganda that we have to debunk, especially in this town, all the frickin' time. And you know what? I'll put all my cards on the table. I am not a renter myself. My wife and I own our condo, but I still support things like rent control and things like that. Because I know how it benefits the community and how important it is.
You live in a society, right? Like
because I live in a society,
right?
And you also see through the bullshit that it's like, look, it's not good for anybody if the developers get 100% of what they want, except for the frickin' developers. So for him to parrot that bullshit was just infuriating. It's either, hey, you don't know how local politics work at all, so you shouldn't talk about it, or B, you're just parroting a bunch of bullshit because you really want to help out your tax bracket the most. And I'm thinking it's the latter because the dude frickin' went to Penn, so he knows better.
And blaming it on people without homes who are addicts is fucked of all groups to be like, oh, this is probably some meth head trying to cook up that crystal meth. They can't like what in the Palisades? Like I don't even live in that part of the world. I know how ridiculous that concept is. How did they get there to start the meth lab? That's the
not to mention like to me it has much less to do with like how it started and a lot more to do with why it was able to spread the way it did.
Yes,
there are like things like that can spark a fire that happen all over the world, but they don't,
winds,
light up an entire
dry,
state.
No rain.
Yeah, exactly. It was the conditions on the ground. Like that should be the focus. Like it's just so bizarre to try and buy in or give any credence to these insane right-wing talking points.
By the way, some people were asking in the chat. Yes, that was my cat.
Yeah, they want to see Lucy run. I saw a bunch of people.
Well, I was just about to pick her up, and then she just
ran away.
bounced. She's like, time's up, dude. So if she comes back, I will pick her up. She will say hello.
So another thing that happened today, actually, we had 3 different confirmation hearings: Kash Patel, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and these, like, I knew that it was going to be a shit show, but it's astonishing that these people are nominated. And Pete Hegseth was confirmed, and today he was talking about the plane crash and how, we're going to have the most qualified people. And it's just so ironic because this is the least qualified person to be the defense secretary. And I feel like it's so overwhelming, and I don't have any overall thoughts about this other than what the fuck. So I haven't focused on these in videos. David did a really good video on RFK yesterday with the onesie shit with Bernie Sanders. That cracked me the fuck up.
You support these onesies.
It's so good.
It was a great moment.
Yeah, I'm curious, Ron, and everyone else, what are your thoughts on this? Because I feel like this is evidence, concrete evidence that the United States empire is going to die on our 250th birthday. Like it's not gonna last much longer.
Which is a typical Empire run, by the way.
Exactly.
That's
the
a typical
average.
number.
Yeah.
It's a good runtime.
Yeah.
Lance and David, I'm sorry we're such shitty neighbors, by the way. I'm sure that's said often on this show, but
It's
but
okay.
It might not be said often enough.
I've
Not
got
that
shitty
y'all
neighbors
are
right
perfect,
beside
by
me.
the way. Y'all have your own
No.
issues, but
No, we have issues.
But we are a shitty.
I'm right beside Alberta. It's a shittier neighbor, even though they're Canadian, than the US is just to the south of me. Like the entire West Coast, everywhere from like Washington to Oregon to California, they're all super awesome.
Oh, the West
Like,
Coast is
actually,
great.
yeah, the West Coast is amazing. But, like,
Vancouver's
Alberta
one of my
sucks.
favorite cities. I
that's
love
great.
Vancouver so much. If it was
That was
not
only-
pretty much as expensive as Los Angeles, I would consider trying to get up there.
No, it's worse now.
Oh, it's so ridiculous expensive. Up
$2
there.
million like 1-bedroom condos, and you're like, that's
Jesus,
insane.
nuts.
Like,
It's
what
nuts.
the fuck?
It's not, and I love Toronto too. I mean, that's what is it? Rogers Stadium is one of the best venues to see.
I still call it
hockey.
Sky Dome, but yes, you can call it Rogers Stadium.
Well, all right, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what, but because that's the big cable company, right? Like that's basically your guys'.
We got like basically 3 companies in a trench coat like run this country here, but
yes,
it's one of the big ones. Yeah,
and you had a shot at municipal broadband, and I think they kind of like fucked it for y'all. I don't know. I remember reading about that a little bit when it happened. But,
yeah, I may have forgot that story, but yeah, I'm sure that any opportunity for them to snuff out something like that, they're going to make sure that does not exist here.
Well, I mean, it is an excellent venue to see a hockey game. I know that y'all struggle getting a team to watch, but the venue itself is a phenomenal place to watch hockey. One of my favorites, my favorite that I've ever been to.
Unfortunately, it's just as expensive to live in Toronto as Vancouver, if not more so. I'm not sure which is more expensive, but they kind of trade places back and forth.
We have the most expensive housing in Canada and almost closest to the most in the world. But I think the like day-to-day food expenses, like food is cheaper in Toronto. I think overall, it makes the cost of living lower. Rents are higher here.
Okay.
I think it'd be the other way because you can grow more shit in Vancouver, can't you? I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, if people are going to live off the land, power to them. At this point, farm to table, baby, go for it.
Oh, speaking of Canada, I was curious to get the Canadians' thoughts on the election because David, your video on the poll showing that the Conservative Party is actually down and the Liberals are up since Trudeau has resigned. That actually gave me a lot of hope.
Well, I will say it's early movement. There is polling showing that. I want to be clear. Conservatives are still leading, but they
go to 338. If you go to 338, it's copium, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Is it really?
They still are poised, if an election was held today, to win a majority by a huge amount. Like, it's beyond the margin of error. Like,
but in terms of early trends from new polls coming out, like 338 takes in all polls, like older polls as well. In terms of like newer polls coming out, it is showing the trend shifting. But as I said in my video, like we're gonna, this is early data. We have to see how it's going to continue. But part of that, like people, is a combination of Trudeau saying he's going to be he's stepping down for a leadership race, as well as the first week of Trump just being completely fucking insane, and Poilievre, the conservative leader, not having a really good response to that. Whereas there's been more of a response from the Liberals and the NDP. So like we're gonna have to like the.
It is insane
one of the wild things about
it is insane that the response from the leading conservative guy who wants to run Canada to Trump wanting to literally take over Canada, making a part of the US, was just like, I respect Trump very much, but Canada is Canada. Like,
it's just he said he's got an America first agenda. I've got a Canada first agenda. He can do his, we'll do ours.
It's so cucked. Like he is his. One of his biggest...
All of our politicians suck in that regard. Everyone. Danielle Smith went to Mar-a-Lago. She bent the knee. She's straight up like, we have to give Trump everything he wants. We cannot cut off the power. Everything Daddy wants, give him his juice. Like,
to be fair, she's only the one premier that did that. The other conservative premiers are all actually standing with the Canada First Trudeau approach.
Such an easy win. You would have won the
I know.
election if you were just if you were just
nationalism and patriotism is one of the easiest things in politics.
Can take Canada from my cold dead hands, and then
it would be.
I know. Go right into,
it's so infuriating.
Oh, Canada! Like,
it's what Claudia Sheinbaum
crazy
and she's
Canadian.
doing it well. Everyone's like, oh my god, like I can't believe this. She's like, go fuck yourselves. You give us all the illegal guns, You give us crime.
The party that likes to claim that they are like, the most for Canada, the Conservatives, that they're the ones with the largest block of people, them and the People's Party, which is even further right, with the largest block of people who are okay with the 51st state, or okay being absorbed into America.
Yeah,
like these are supposed to be like the most pro-Canadians, and they're the ones that are most okay with being American. It's so, these people are like, luckily that's a very small percentage of all of Canada. I think most Canadians are not down that path. I think that the fact that our media isn't as terrible, isn't as captured by far right-wing interests the way that U.S. media has been for decades, has I think helped.
All mainstream media in Canada leans right wing, though. We're still bought and sold by those three
it leans
corporations that
corporate.
control it
It's
all.
definitely corporate.
National
but
Post
Lance, it's not
is
Fox
right-wing.
News. Like there's a massive difference.
It's not.
between.
I'll grant you that. Yes, it is not.
There's
Fox
definitely.
News. That is
I'm not
true.
saying it's like left wing at all. Of course not. It's corporate, but it's not like far
It's not
right
Fox.
lunacy.
You're right.
Like
It's not Newsmax. It's not a dude watching a video of a poor Mexican family get torn apart while eating tacos menacingly and then being like that's not a comic book. That's real life. That's me being like, holy shit, damn.
Isn't
Not
Sun? Isn't there like Sun or something, and that's y'all's Fox News?
Yeah, Toronto Sun does right wing, but they don't have a TV show anymore. They used to.
Yeah, they used to have Sun News, and that was shuttered.
It just bombed, and so there's basically Rebel Media, which is like where you get Lauren Southern and Gavin McInnes and all those other people who have fallen from grace, who started the Proud Boys that America gets to deal with. We think of the terrorist orgs, and y'all have to deal with them over there.
It's like what you guys do to us with your music. You're like, well, Nickelback happened here, but now it's your problem.
Enjoy.
One thing
you did give us back Drake though, so there's that. So
yeah, that's right.
That was a cultural exchange.
You're welcome. Take them.
Yeah. You forced us to take Drake back in shame.
The one thing I was going to mention as well with Polyev is that one of his big supporters right now is Elon Musk. So like Polyev can't claim to be someone who's going to be able to stand strong to Trump when Elon Musk is retweeting your videos and like praising you. Like this, I think that point needs to be hammered home a lot leading up to an election, is just you cannot trust this guy with anything. He still won't get a security clearance, and which is very bizarre. It like the thinking behind that is the less he knows, the more he's able to basically put out his own propaganda without having to.
You should clarify for American viewers who don't understand. If you happen to be the leader of a political party in Canada, you can apply for security clearance to see sensitive information about things that might concern like the national security, because Parliament has to be able to debate it. So you can actually apply for that if you are the leader of a major political party. The reason why you wouldn't is if you have anything to hide, because they do a very thorough background check when you get the security clearance. It's kind of like CSIS, the equivalent of like the CIA and the FBI look into you and shit. So
yeah, either he wants to hide, or the other theory is that he doesn't want that knowledge so that he's able to do whatever propaganda he wants without him, I guess, being in a weird position where he has to lie or something like that. That I guess is the other, I don't know, but potential reason for why he doesn't want to get it. But regardless, this is a guy he's been in Parliament his entire life, since his early 20s. He's I think 40 now, and someone he'll complain about career politicians, but he is one. Somebody who claims he's for the working class, but he has spent his entire career working on behalf of massive corporations and against unions. Has voted against abortion bills, voted against gay marriage, even though his dad is gay. Like you can go on and on and on with this shit. Like,
what?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
He is voted against cannabis legalization. Like anything that is good that has happened in Canada, he's voted against it because he's been part of the Conservative Party for his entire life. So it's been wild to see him and his makeover. Like go back and look at images of him from like 5 years ago. He looks like Milhouse. Now he's like the glasses are gone. He's beefed up. Like it's just like
they definitely
he Maxed and became a Chad.
Oh yeah,
yeah. These are the same guys that try to make fun of Trudeau for being like, oh, he's a celebrity, whatever. Like just look what you're doing. Like you're beefing up now. Like give me a break. So it's so crazy.
Oh, Canada, I'm holding out so much hope because if, things go south, I do plan to seek asylum in your country. So please, let's
I would apply now.
Let's not
You're not
go
south.
You could actually, as a refugee, you could do that.
You
Like a
can.
political
You
asylum.
could apply as an LGBTQ plus refugee now. By the time Pierre gets into power, I could see him cutting a lot of those programs. He's the first politician to go on national television and basically be openly disparaging towards LGBTQ plus people in Canada, like just openly on TV since we had black and white television. He's the first one. Like I was looking it up.
No kidding.
Even the older conservatives who were like, love is between a man and a woman, they weren't doing that on TV or the radio. But he just went on national television and was like, there's only two genders. If you know of a third gender, I'd like to hear about it. Tell me about what is the third gender? Like we don't get that. Like that's new. That's definitely like something like, holy shit, I haven't seen that before.
He's
You're
a
welcome.
hog. He's an American
You're
hog.
welcome. It's one of America's finest exports.
Yeah.
Transphobia.
I think that what I'm gonna do.
That was the UK's finest export.
I think I'm just gonna jump the border and hope nobody notices me. And if I bump into somebody, I'm gonna be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
They'll never fucking know. Like, how are they gonna know? So I mean, I'm admitting now, but I'll delete this by then.
Do you have any American tattoos that'll give you away?
No. Oh no, I would never tattoo this country on me. Just very like nerdy alien tattoos. Various arts. So no, I could get a Canadian tattoo though.
There you go.
Maybe that would help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We are taught to say that that's where we're from when we go abroad.
Right.
Like we're told to say, hey, if you, especially during the Iraq years, people would be like, hey, if you want to maybe be liked more, say you're from Canada instead of telling the truth. So I definitely said I was from Canada a couple times and just picked a city. I mean, Edmonton, Toronto, any city with a hockey team, I would just sort of rattle off and hope they didn't have any specifics.
Yeah, the problem is if you run into a Canadian, then you got to explain yourself. You got.
I'd be honest then. I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm your neighbor. Sorry about that. But
well, if you run into a Canadian,
I didn't vote for him.
I thought about this actually. If you run into a Canadian, you just start crying and they'll apologize immediately and drop the conversation because they're very polite. So that's the way to kind of subvert that. And it's not just the news; it's you have to say Z instead of Z. It's little things. I picked up on all the nuances. You motherfuckers are not going to be able to detect me. I'm sorry. You see somebody with a shaved beard. Shave the beard, dye the hair.
No,
I think this video that's being streamed to thousands of people might give you up.
They're not going to find me. They're not going to find me.
Wait, we're streaming? Oh my god.
So I watching RFK was beyond painful, I thought. And
Yes.
I think what is
Yeah.
especially frightening to me is we're living in this weird tribal era where I think a lot of people, they have this bizarre mentality of the enemy of my enemy must be my friend. And that's not how life works. You're taught that life's more complicated like that, presumably in frickin' middle school. But I guess some people never got the message. But I mean, because I was tweeting about it because I think he's a dangerous lunatic because he is. And, some people be like, oh, so do you like Big Pharma? It's like, of course not. But first of all, couple steps here. A, I don't like Big Pharma. But B, I know what Big Pharma actually is because I feel like a lot of people don't. Here's the best way to simplify it. Big Pharma is not the EpiPen. Big Pharma is the EpiPen costing $600 and more. That's big frickin' pharma.
Yeah.
And if you think RFK would do anything about that, you're in a frickin' dream world. And you look at what this guy wants to do, what he's been about his entire career, and then he's called on it, and he's got nothing to frickin' say. He couldn't defend himself. He was caught in a corner. Michael Bennett put him in his place. Michael Bennett owned him. And then Michael Bennett went on to have some nationalist warmongering bullshit with Tulsi Gabbard. But he had a freaking moment with RFK. And RFK just had nothing because at the end of the day, this is a guy who was born on third base with the bases loaded. And the batter got hit with a freaking pitch. All he had to do was walk home, and he tripped and fell in the middle of the run and onto a heroin needle or whatever it is he did. And he All of his stories are just, I'm a rich guy who never had consequences in my life. That's all of his stories. They were so bizarre. Even Roseanne was creeped out. And he's
That's
just
a
made
lot
a
to get her
career.
creeped out.
It is. He's made a career just peddling pseudoscience bullshit because that was the only lane where he could get attention compared to the rest of his freaking family, because he's just a by the book narcissist. And the fact that he is not laughed out of polite conversation. Somebody tweeted this, and I wish I could give credit. But I mean, I'm sure people had parallel ideas, but somebody tweeted the fact that he is even at this point receiving a hearing is a true societal failure.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't make it in, but the fact that he even got this far is a true societal failure. And the fact that there's people that don't see through this guy, that they think he's some kind of outsider, a guy who changes political acumen the way you or I change a pair of socks. I mean, he was a Democrat. They didn't want him. He was a libertarian. They didn't want him, which, you know, I got a lot of disagreements with libertarians, but they sniffed him out. I'll give credit where it's due there. They sniffed him out real quick. So then he just went MAGA because he just wants a gig. He just wants to be in the club. He just wants a lane. He's tired of being in his family's shadow.
He's pro-vax now, though. Didn't you hear? He said he's pro-vax.
Right. Yeah.
Great
yeah.
news.
Yeah.
Definitely believable.
People, it's like, what do you have to say to that now? Like, there he is. He's saying his kids are vax. He's like, yeah, he's not. He's got nothing. All he has is a onesie and a book to sell you. That's all he's got.
What's the worst he's going to be capable of doing once he comes to power? Like, if he actually goes for like attacking, like I can't see him going after the 8 or 9 major food manufacturers that produce all the food America consumes. Like, he's not going to take them to task. They're way too powerful. They're way too rich. He's not going to regulate the amount of addictive properties you can put in those foods, because they will you're fucking with the bag at that point. So I don't see what angle he actually goes for. Like, deregulate the meat industry, allow everyone to drink pasteurized worm milk. Like, is that the next phase? Like,
by the way, great idea right about now with the bird flu around, and we're not getting any information about it because he throws the health agencies spreading information. Although, hey, I will say, I mean, if we're gonna be totally, across the board here, what's really sad too is that, look, there is a lot of fucked up stuff about our food culture, especially in the United States. And it's a damn shame that now, just a pseudoscience pushing whack job like him is leading that conversation and hijacking that issue. Although it would be cool if Coca-Cola had cane sugar like in Mexico. That would be much better. I mean, I'm down with that idea. That would be better than whatever's in it now.
But it's like you were talking about how people say, are you into big pharma just because you criticize someone who criticizes big pharma? In both cases, in that or the way food is mass manufactured, you get it. Like, you understand that it would be great actually if he was capable of reducing the amount of sodium, fats, sugars in mainstream processed foods. That'll benefit everybody if they did that. That's not what they're going after though. He's talking about microplastics making people have gender dysphoria, and how Ashkenazi Jews won't be affected by the bioengineered COVID shit, doesn't think HIV causes AIDS. Like, these are serious things that actually get people like death on a mass scale. If you can start to permeate myths surrounding very serious infectious diseases like HIV, and comparing it to what there's both American AIDS and then there's African AIDS, right? Shit like that. Like, no, you racist phrenologist, fucking weird ass. No, we in the year of our Lord 2025, we shouldn't have to deal with this, let alone a whole country. That's why I'm I really want to know, what's he gonna do in America? What's the first switch? What does RFK actually?
Well, he even said he was questionable, which I didn't know about this either. A senator was asking him, so you also said that Black Americans are supposed to have different vaccines than white Americans. Why? Which vaccines am I supposed to get that you're not supposed to get? I'm just curious. And the way he was saying it, made no sense whatsoever. And he was he said capital B, Blacks are supposed to get this and that. I can't do the voice, but it was I had no idea how much shit he threw out there.
I actually had to do his voice for a bit not too long ago, so I could do it if you need somebody to.
Be careful, Ron, because Libs of TikTok is finding people who do the voice and they're scolding them. That's who. for being
Not
really
the
cruel
dark
on the
woke
internet.
movement.
Oh, come on. That's where your moral meter lands
I
at,
know.
making fun
Yeah.
of RFK's voice.
Their
Well,
whole
I-
account is
I-
like getting innocent people who have nothing to do with anything wrong and like making them out to be terrible people and like giving them
Death
death
threats.
threats. Like for them
Bomb
to have
threats
any
to
sort of
children's
moral superiority
hospitals.
to anything is absurd.
Well,
Yeah, I'll show you, I'm not joking.
I have a message for libs of TikTok that I'm at the age where a lot of important people in my life are having children, and I'm worried they might not be able to get the polio vaccine because RFK is a fucking lunatic. So if you have a problem with me doing the voice, you can go fuck yourself sideways. Oh, sorry, Ariana's dad. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh, my dad is not here. Trust me, you're good.
Oh, he bounced.
He's
He
left
bounced
left
already.
after
Matt's
that.
dad is the one
He's
who
like, "That's
watches.
enough."
Yeah, we love Matt's dad, but I feel like he low key has the same
Tim
sense
Pool's
of humor
dad,
as all
too.
of us. Yeah, Tim Pool's dad is actually
Tim
really
Pool's
cool. I
dad
think he
watches
too.
us too.
Yeah,
This is wild. This is wild.
Wait,
yeah,
Yeah.
and he
I know,
engages
I know.
in the
He's
chat.
a long-time fan, and he engages in chat. He watches a lot of our independent streams. He is a long-running fan. Yeah.
Tim Pool's dad watches us more than my family watches me. So, challenge to my family:
Yeah.
get on Tim Pool's dad's level.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tim Pool's dad. Can I call you dad? Is that no? Okay. Yeah, no, it's so scary that this is happening because the amount of damage that he actually can do, even just like with regard to vaccines, it is frightening. And this whole like the defense of, oh, you're a big pharma shill if you don't like him. I mean, like, okay, if you really don't want to be the purist, then not a big pharma shill. Next time you get a headache, don't you dare take a Tylenol. Next time you get hives, don't take a fucking Benadryl. You tough that shit out and start praying, okay? Otherwise, you're a big pharma shill. You're giving money to all these giant pharmaceutical companies. Like, get real. Like, it's so
Mike, some of them are
frustrating.
actually like that though.
That's fair.
I mean,
that's fair.
That's what's right.
there's a portion of those people that are actually are like that, but it's not
That's true.
most of them.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. I feel like most of them are going to be confirmed. Has any of them, like any of the real crazies, been rejected yet? We've got Christy Nome, Dog Killer. We've got
No one
Pete
can be.
Hegseth. Who else got
Who?
confirmed that was crazy? Elise Stefanik. Mike Huckabee's ambassador, but like he literally believes that Israel needs to have control of all of Palestine so the Jesus can come back. Like he literally is on that level. So I just feel like there's no fucking brakes on the car anymore.
Well, no one can stop them, right? You would need a
Right.
defector. You'd need a Republican to effectively walk across the aisle or abstain, because otherwise,
Mitch McConnell has done it. Mitch McConnell did it. Mitch McConnell was a defector. Mitch McConnell joined Collins and Murkowski as one of just 3 Republicans to vote
I know.
against
I
Hegseth.
remember that.
Did he know where he was standing though?
I don't think so. I
Was he
think
aware?
I'm chalking that one up to him pushing the wrong button.
Welcome
No,
to the
he-
resistance, Mitch.
Yeah, yeah.
He
At this point,
he released. No, I don't have any proof he wrote it, but he released a whole statement on why he voted against Hegseth.
oh, I
I
think that
mean,
was just a cover up after the fact. Just 'cause he's just sitting there doing.
And it's
what's-
believed that he's going to vote against RFK Jr. too, because Mitch McConnell had polio as a kid, so he's
Oh, hell
very
yeah!
pro.
All right, hey,
pro-vaccine.
Never,
Yeah.
never too late to start trying to undo some of a lifelong of making other human beings suffer for a
Yeah,
living and getting
this
off
guy
to their
that-
misery.
This guy that helped give birth to like Trump, like
Yes.
he's the precursor to all
And
of
no
this
one
shit.
ever working together again. Like Obama made the mistake of, hey,
Yeah.
by the way, why don't I invite some Republicans in for a conversation surrounding healthcare? And then boom, he invented the entire future paradox of like, we just fight each other. The Democrats want decorum, and we want to consume society. We want to eat people's flesh. So that's the spiral for eternity. Awesome.
Yeah, I love how on his deathbed now he's like, "Hey, we should not embolden Donald Trump." When he wrote a book on the long game to embolden Donald Trump, it's just so frustrating. I hate all of these people so much. Even when they finally come to the right conclusion, it's always on their deathbed. John McCain, he voted to save Obamacare and then died. Like they do one good thing, they leave us with one small thing, and then they die. It's like what if?
And the
what
reason
if
he did
during
it was
your
more
life
of a,
you
was more of
find,
an
you
F
find
you to
God?
Trump than anything.
You know what I
Reason he
think
did
it
was more of an
is?
F you to Trump than anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those people, they're still scared because a lot of those people are very religious. So I think
True.
they're still scared of going to hell. Because I mean, back in
And
the
they
day,
We
will.
need to haunt them. We need to haunt them all the time. We need to put resources into haunting them. People have to like hide behind like, you know, desks and be like, oh, the voice of Christmas past and shit. I'm serious. If that's what it takes, if it takes them like to change their worldview and actually make the world a better place, if they need to believe in fairy tales, I am fine with that. Let's do that. We need to put on like, let's theater kids our way into a better future here.
Well, I mean, that's how it would work back in the day. Like they would, you know, like Andrew Carnegie gave a bunch of libraries and shit because he said, well, I'm gonna die soon and I might go to hell, I think. So let me give a bunch of stuff away. That was how, you know, and now, I mean, now I don't think Elon Musk is scared of going to hell or Bezos or any of them. So I don't know. It's a new era.
They're gonna buy it.
They're gonna buy it.
That's true.
They're gonna
buy hell.
They're gonna colonize
the
it.
temperature.
They're gonna colonize hell.
They're gonna
Yeah,
colonize
they're
hell.
already colonizing hell just behind the scenes. That's what they can't talk about.
All their sycophants are in hell, so they want to go there. And maybe we should actually start going to church and get our lives right with Jesus, or whatever we believe in. And wherever they are gonna go, I want to like go the opposite. If they're going to heaven, I'll go to hell. Just like pick one, and then I'll do the opposite. I just can't. Like
I'm surprised no one's mentioned we're in hell. This is hell. We are in it.
Right.
This is it.
At some point, like we all died. Maybe it was during COVID, and this is hell. This is eternity. Maybe that makes
What
sense.
do y'all think of Gabbard's? Like, what's the situation with Tulsi Gabbard? Because I feel like there's still a lot of people who don't like her.
It's funny because if she does end up actually being one of the few Trump picks to lose, it's gonna be because of her one good opinion on Edward Snowden.
Right. Oh yeah, that was the most out of all. Like...
Which he took back today. So I mean,
Did she really?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. They're all
she had
doing
to.
it. They're all doing
You
whatever
have
they
to.
can.
You
get
can't apply for that
confirmed.
position and also.
Did she
hold
call
that
him
you
a
could be an
traitor?
enemy to the U.S. Like.
Well, I think she didn't answer, right? Like she didn't give a direct answer one way or another.
She said that. So she was asked, would she consider like a pardon or whatever, and she said that she would not visit that topic. That she would not do that. No.
Shocker.
It's so
She has no fucking principles.
She has none whatsoever. I mean, talk about someone who changes. She has literally toured the entire fucking gamut. Like she like at one point she was the DNC darling first. A lot of people forget that, but then that went south for her. So she was like, okay, I'm a Bernie person now. Then like that wasn't quite the lane she was looking for. So now she's like, okay, I'm this sort of like anti-war left. Then that wasn't the lane. Then it's like, okay, I'm this kind of weird libertarian adjacent thing, this sort of hyper online contrarian thing. And then that wasn't quite. So now she's MAGA. Who knows what she's going to be like 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, it depends on the weather.
Unbelievable.
Whatever benefits her career in the moment, basically.
Yeah,
During 2020,
exactly.
she was calling people who criticized her ties to Modi Hindu phobic. And then towards like the end of the first year of her campaign, she started to get like conspicuously pro-evangelical. Like she didn't become a Christian herself, but she would like say things like, oh, this is the birth of Jesus on Christmas. And I remember getting so much shit for calling it out, but I'm like, hey, this is weird. Like who says that? Like this is such a strange
Did you see
change
the
in tone.
toenail cult that she's in, where she has to like eat toenails or donate toenails to like show?
I know she's in a cult, but she's eating toenails.
There's something in there about toenail eating. It's like it's repulsive, but like that, it's not.
You know what? Good, fuck her. I hope she eats a lot of toenails.
Well, I mean, she's enjoying it though. If she's a part of a cult and she's doing it, so
yeah,
different strokes.
You know what, Mike? That reminds me of when John Fetterman first ran, I called him out because I was like, something just isn't right about this guy. He chased down a guy with a black man with a gun down the street. He doesn't have a lot of tenure. When he was lieutenant governor, there were multiple reports of people saying that he doesn't come into office and he just doesn't work that much. And I was like, I don't know. This guy's kind of weird. And everyone attacked me. They were like,
oh my God.
John Fetterman's the only progressive in the center. And then literally 6 months later, it all went to shit. And I was like, I knew it.
Right. Now you got to dig up their old tweets, Ariana. Or dig up that old tweet from you and put it in their faces.
Go on the offense.
I know. I should. No, I'm just tired of no offense, Ron. I don't know if you're a liberal, but I just
He
can't do
is.
it. Like, yeah. I'm sure you're not a Twitter liberal, but you know,
Ron's not a
Twitter, the Twitter libs. I just can't. I
Yeah. Ron, before
I
you
feel
got
your
here,
pain.
Ariana was talking about how she had an old tweet from 2023 go viral because she said she wouldn't vote for Joe Biden, and liberal Twitter is having a field day with that.
Well, I just heard apparently Brianna Wu had something to say about it too. So,
Oh, she has something to say about everything.
I literally fucking hate Brianna Wu. I've gone
too.
off on her on Twitter multiple times and I've gone viral for it. She still follows me. So I don't know if she has like
She
a
still follows me
degradation
too.
kink or something. Like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I hate Brianna Wu. I think she's
I hate her so fucking much. She is so
comedian-
insufferable.
A comedian friend of mine named Robin Tran, who is amazing follow. Everyone should follow her. Robin Tran on all the socials. She has dunked on Brianna Wu so many times, and it is epic. Like, she has had multiple dunks on Brianna Wu.
She makes it so easy. Her and like Eve Fartlow are the easiest people to dunk. Like, I can't think of other two people who are just like suckers for fucking punishment that like tee up dunks. I just can't. I can't.
Blue Sky is just such a cooler hang now.
Oh, it's way better.
Like Blue Sky is just so like it's just Twitter is where I go and I just have a little less faith in humankind now. And sometimes I think about what it used to be and it makes me very depressed. Twitter, that is. Then I go to Blue Sky and I discover this cool leftist punk band I hadn't heard of 5 minutes prior and shit like that. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I really like it here. Yeah. It's like it's like your favorite bar just got taken over by Nazis and you don't exactly know how. Oh yeah, you do know how. It's the new owner, but then you find this new dive, but not a lot of people know about it yet. You're like, people got to know about this freaking place.
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of how Twitter used to be before it all went to shit.
Right. Hey, you still gotta go on. You don't got to, but I still gotta go on there to basically. You got to.
News
see
still
what
breaks on Twitter.
The opposition in news does still break on Twitter.
Yeah.
Blue Sky is getting better in terms of users posting on there, but at the same time, I know people don't like the algorithm, like an algorithm that suggests stuff to them, and obviously Twitter went the wrong way with it. But there was a time when the Twitter algorithm was actually good, and it made sure you didn't see like the nonsensical posts you didn't have to care about, and then it actually just served you up like what actually was going on that you should know about. And I missed that, and Blue Sky hasn't been able to replicate that. I don't have time to just sift through everything in order. You know what I mean?
The breaking point for me for Twitter notifications is I have Tim Pool and Elon Musk blocked. I got a push notification about an interaction between Elon Musk and Tim Pool. That's how fucked up Twitter is. Just the timeline, the notification system is just it's terrible.
It's so crazy because you'll be scrolling through Twitter and you'll see like news, you'll see people arguing, then you'll see somebody sig heiling. You scroll a little bit further, then you'll see like somebody with the anime character with big titties. Scroll a little bit further, you might see a dick or two, and then there's more Nazis. You go down. It's just it's not good for your mental health. And then when you go to Blue Sky,
everyone you just mentioned are also sig heiling. The anime weirdos. The dick pics you saw are probably
they're making swastikas out of dicks on Twitter. Like that's what the fuck they're doing. That's the state of Twitter. No, I'm joking. But like it's bad.
Those dicks are actually saying my heart goes out to you.
Right.
The dick is autistic, all right? It's not.
Right.
Don't be ableist.
Right.
Oh my God, literally, can we talk about how many people say the dumbest shit and then they're like, oh, I'm autistic, it's okay, I'm autistic. And I'm like, I don't want to question someone's autism spectrum, but like.
When did that become a thing? It is so insulting.
I have no clue. Like, there are really, I'm not going to name people, but there are really big people, like, on stream, they'll go like, oh, sorry, I'm a little awkward, I'm autistic. I'm like, okay, you can be awkward, but like I'm not entirely sure if you're like autistic too. I don't know.
Yeah, you could be awkward and not autistic. Like, I feel like a lot of people
Right.
don't really understand what it means, and they're kind of just using it as a get out of jail free card. Like, if they accidentally say the R slur, then they'll be like, "Oh, no, sorry, I'm autistic." When it's like, are you though? Like, I feel like the way that people are talking about it, they don't know what it means. Like with the Elon Musk thing, where it's like he can't be a Nazi, and he just did that because
Also-
he's autistic. What?
Also,
Emphatic
in
hand
what-
gesture in a moment of excitement.
Right.
In what world did the right ever say you need to treat people with disabilities differently to help adjust for whatever that disability is?
Right.
All of a sudden though, when it comes to Elon Musk and autism, it's like, no, you have to be understanding. It's DEI for Elon Musk. It's it's Elon Musk DEI. Give him a pass every time. He gets special treatment because he's the world's richest little autistic boy.
Yeah, it's insulting. It's insulting to anybody who's autistic or anybody who has like a family member who has Asperger's or autism. I'm sorry, but they don't do that. They don't do that. My
Oh yeah, the
nephew
majority
doesn't.
aren't Nazis. There's no correlation there. That like, like
Right.
most of them would
yeah.
be disgusting at the very concept of being a Nazi. I mean, the surest way to make everyone know that you're definitely not trying to signal to Nazis is perhaps, I don't know, denying that you were trying to signal to Nazis, which he still to this point hasn't done. Would have been an easy
Right.
way just to be. Instead, it's just like, oh, the people who love Hamas are coming after me. Grok, give me dad puns about the Holocaust. These will be amazing. Yeah, look at all the dad puns I have, y'all. Like, you can
Yeah.
just be
Well,
like,
and
actually,
it's just this might just be me, but if I got really emotional and I accidentally sig heiled, I made this like joke on my show. I'm like, listen, if
Like
if
it might
you're-
be the first thing you do when you sneak up to Canada. You might just be like, you're so stoked to be
Yeah.
here. You just accidentally say Kyle.
Yeah. Or
What do I
Then
do
they'll
with
know
this?
you're American.
your spouse brings home donuts and you get excited, and instead of like, yeah, you do a sig heil twice. Identical both times, hand to the chest, extend the right arm. But like if I did that and I genuinely did not mean to sig heil, I would then the next week not go speak to a neo-Nazi party and tell them that they should move on from
that
their
might
past
give
guilt.
people the wrong idea.
I feel like
if you spoke at the Nazi rally, talking
That's a
to
good point.
Germans, telling them
I'd be
to
a little
ignore the mistakes
self-conscious.
of the past, the guilt of the past, that would be a weird thing, to do.
I'm
You want
sorry.
people to
I
think
know.
that you were
I
a
know,
Nazi.
Mike used the phrase "if I genuinely didn't mean to sig heil." I mean, it's not a possibility. It's not something people do. Like
Right.
if you're raising your hand and you're waving, no one will mistake it for a sig heil. If you're holding your hands out to somebody, no one's gonna mistake it for a sig heil. If you violently smash your chest and then angrily
They did a wrestling slap
extend your
twice. You
arm
can
out
hear the
straight
slap.
as can be
You
with
can
all your
hear the
fingers
double
together
slap.
and everything.
You hear it.
You like it's like the idea of him saying my heart goes out to you with that gesture he did can easily be debunked by looking at the fucking facial reaction he makes when doing that. Can you pull up the picture? Can one of you guys pull up the picture?
No,
One of
you
guys
know
pull
there's
up
a
the
video of
picture?
him saying my heart's with you, right? Like he literally
Yeah,
was
you
like
see
my
the
heart's
Yeah,
with
you
you.
don't
knows
even
how to
know
do
that.
it.
Yeah,
Right
he
away.
knows how to do it.
You
Yes,
don't even
know.
need that context though. Pull up the fucking
No.
actual
My heart's
picture.
with you.
Like,
Did
pull
you
up
guys
see if I
see
can
the
find
picture.
bishop? Did you guys see the bishop at the pro
Yeah,
life rally
he
in
got
DC?
fired.
I got
he
a video on that
delicensed.
tomorrow.
He got
R.I.P. Bozo.
delicensed.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bozo. Well, yeah.
Yep.
What a surprise. We
And
already
the
know
Republican
what's
lady, she did it, and then she had to resign as well. I have a video on this tomorrow, so everybody check that out.
I love that there's so many people jumping on the Nazi sword right now to be like, we gotta normalize this. Come on, comrades. It's the first step towards getting the N-word back. We start here.
Like, look at that face.
Yeah,
He
but
means it.
Hold
Yeah.
on. There's an even better one. Hold on. There's an even better picture. Hold on. I'll pull it up. If I figure out how to. Hold on.
He's really putting his chest into it. There's oomph behind
Oh
it.
yeah, there's another one. I'm trying to. Okay.
You got
Well,
it.
I just think
No.
it is the most. I know apparently there's like a 4chan section or whatever it is where they'll do that to be provocative and they think it's so contrarian and edgy, and it's like I mean, aside from just being as morally repulsive as it is, I just want to say, do you realize how fucking hack you are? Do you realize that's something that can be traced back to the 70s in various punk subcultures in England, where it's like, oh, we're gonna wear a swastika for shock value. You know, Sid Vicious used to do that. He was 20 years old and addicted to heroin. What's your fucking excuse? You're just an
Look at
incel.
that.
Doesn't
Look,
count.
look, that's the face of my heart goes out to you. Like, what does he scream? My fucking heart goes out to you.
That is the cringe of the Nazi. The cringe of the Nazi.
Oh my
Give me a break. Give me a break. I mean,
Yeah, so this is a great point from Autistic Goblin. It says autism makes it hard to understand social norms, not to avoid bigotry. Bigotry, fascism are not social awkwardness. Fuck these people making the rest of us look bad. We don't need their help. Yeah, like fundamentally behind this, even though like somebody like Elon Musk, like it's ostensibly like a defense of somebody, but no, it's actually ableism. Like you're slandering autistic people. Like it's so fucked up. And the fact that people are making this defense is it is mind-blowing to me.
To protect a Nazi. You're protecting a Nazi.
Right.
Every person who
Which he
downplays
is.
what a Nazi did is you're just protecting. Why are you protecting a Nazi? Who cares? He's a fucking Nazi. Call him a Nazi. He wants to signal. Like, you get your wish, sir. The prize is, yeah, I think you're a Nazi now.
Did you see that he said apparently the left thinks I'm a Zionist and a Nazi? It was, oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
And people said,
I think
what
that.
we mean.
Yes.
They're so stupid and confused. Like if you look at the replies, it's like, oh my God, I can't. I'm not gonna bother to try to explain it. I just can't.
Yeah.
I have brain rot to like such a high degree over the past week and a half. Like when David said a week and a half. Like when you said that earlier, David, like I almost felt like I disassociated. Where it's like, wait, he's only been president for a week and a half. What? Sorry, Matt.
No, we'll settle in as well. Like there'll be a point where we get like I remember feeling this way in like 2017.
I hope
in
so.
like 2018. But by like 2019, 2020, we got to get past the first 2 years. That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
We got to get to the midterms.
Well, you see how many systems and structures remain in power, right? He's trying to basically try the shock and all to see what he can get away with. And there are things that he's not getting away with. There's things that they've had to reverse, but then there's a lot where there's no one really opposing him. And then you're just like, okay, well, that is simply something the president can do. All right. You know, like that's within his capacity. And
you know what really pisses me off though? I feel like the 4 years that Biden was president, all the liberals were like, oh, well, Biden's trying to do this with student loans, but he can't. The courts stop him. Oh, he's trying to do that.
Yeah.
He can't. The courts just stop. But then Trump comes in. All these executive orders are getting signed and put through. And he's like, and then if it's really drastic and people are like, whoa, this is too much, like putting a pause on all federal funding, then he walks it back and he's like, okay, never mind. You guys can have that one. And it's like, where is this energy from the Democrats? Like,
guys, I
does not exist.
I gotta ask you something.
it does not exist.
I gotta ask you something. Aside from that time they stopped Bernie Sanders many years ago, have you ever again heard of the parliamentarian?
Never.
We got to respect the parliamentarian decorum.
I mean, where is this all-powerful parliamentarian right now? I mean, where are they?
Trump, you think you can executive order away the 14th Amendment? Wait until the parliamentarian hears about this motherfucker. They're going to write you a strongly worded letter, and you're going to be so mad.
Right? He's
Can't
going
do
up
anything.
against the Constitution. It's they're playing different games.
Yeah, his press secretary said that they believed that something in the Constitution was unconstitutional. I think it was about birthright. It's like, okay,
that would have been interesting. The whole like there's no, he was trying to do away with birthright of people. They would have to amend the Constitution to do such a thing. Mm-hmm. And I was curious because if that were to go through and they would amend the Constitution, I know obviously it wouldn't apply retroactively, but technically most Americans would not have a legal line, because if they would amend the Constitution to where there was no birthright, technically, if you go back far
Within
enough, like
jurisdiction,
you would
right?
have a family member born illegal. I mean, I know for me personally, like when my family came over from Italy, they weren't documented for a long freaking time. Most people weren't, and they had kids. So
Yeah.
George Washington didn't have his papers.
no, no,
Right.
he just had a cherry tree.
It's almost like if you go back far enough, all of us are undocumented in this country, and this land actually didn't belong to us.
No.
Listen, worst case scenario, deport my ass to Portugal. Never been there. I'd be fine with it. Okay. Like,
Probably a
fuck
better
you.
situation for you.
Well, that was what I was thinking. I was just like, well, I mean, if that goes through, technically, I mean, I guess I gotta give up this passport. Just
Live
don't
in
charge
Italy.
me for
Sounds
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta
Yeah.
go.
Oh no, decriminalize drugs and free healthcare in Portugal. Please don't
Cheap
deport me
wine
there.
everywhere.
Gee, shucks.
I would hope that Democrats are like, this is a fairy tale land, but Democrats are learning lessons here, showing what you can get away with. But I know that they're not learning lessons because I see people like this representing the Democratic Party.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time in terms of trying to get this done. So yes, I think democracy will have an effect, and we are going to keep at it.
Okay, buddy.
That's the kind of fight you need. Hey, good job, Democratic Party.
People are.
That's the
around.
problem with having all these octogenarians in office. They haven't seen people aroused in a very long time.
Yeah, in a very long time. It's been
Well, I mean,
extending
listen. If you
This
were
is
in Trump's
arousal.
position and Chuck Schumer looked at you and he put his glasses down, would you not be intimidated by that? I would be shaking in my fucking boots
Or
if I saw that shit.
aroused.
Or
Yeah,
aroused, yes.
I'd be aroused immediately and scared. I just and then when you hear Hakeem Jeffries talk as well, like it sounds like he is dead on the inside. Like this man has
He said, "Jesus,
no
take the wheel."
charisma.
That was his post. That was his big.
Right?
That was
Oh,
his
yeah,
big,
so we can
that was
find
his
that.
big, presidents come and presidents go, but in the end, I got Lord my God.
It's in God's
No,
hands,
he
not
said-
Donald
he
Trump.
said it's in God's hands.
What
Yeah.
the hell?
No,
That's-
we're
What are
in a
we
place
supposed
where
to do?
Target and Ben and Jerry's is doing more for DEI and people of color than our elected politicians. Because why is Hakeem Jeffries saying it's up to God now? Like, good luck, y'all.
Right. Oh my God.
Presidents come and go. Through it all, God is still on the throne. Okay.
That'll help. Thank you, sir. I love APAC
That's
Tracker.
all I heard at the end of that. God is on the throne.
Did they ratio him? Can you scroll down a little bit, David? I'm just curious. They always ratio all of them.
Let's see the numbers.
Almost.
The numbers,
10K?
The numbers. The numbers.
Oh, I
maybe.
responded
Oh,
too.
up
I
there.
forgot about that. I mean, what? This is our leadership. God is on the throne. That's the response to Donald Trump. Well, thank you so much. You know, Trump
is
might
on
take
the
away our
throne.
civil rights and civil liberties, but at least at the end of the day, he doesn't have control. He might win the battle, but he's going to lose the war because God's going to win the war. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you, Jeffries.
That was the leader of the Democrats in the House basically looking at his base and saying, thoughts and prayers for the next 4 years. I mean,
Right.
We're not doing shit.
It
I mean,
almost
where
makes
have
me
these
yearn
guys
for
been?
Nancy Pelosi again. At least she's annoying and like
Nancy Pelosi, say what you want about her, and it's all legitimate and correct. But she would not have thrown. She would be saying at least visible against Trump.
right.
but where
Compared
have
to
the Democrats
Jeffries, she's
been?
better.
Where that like even the ones who are giving some of his picks a hard time, a bunch of them are going to vote for them anyway. I mean, they
Yeah.
voted. I know. Comparatively to the other picks, he's probably seen as the best of the picks. But Marco Rubio got 99 votes in the Senate. To
Even
become,
Bernie voted for Marco Rubio.
yeah, I mean, where are these guys just at least saying, like, putting their stick in the ground and saying, like, a line in the sand and saying, like, we're not doing this. We're not, like, even giving this any legitimacy.
Fundraising.
Like, you
that is
wanna
where
know
they
how
are.
Germany
They are
responds?
fundraising.
So AFD, like on the subject of Musk and Nazism, AFD, they are like this. They're polling in second right now, which is horrifying. They're basically a neo-Nazi party. Some of their members have been implicated in like neo-Nazism. So basically, they are
the head of the
successors.
AFD, that woman, the one who spoke with Elon Musk, you know, the woman that they did the spaces together. She was the one who was like spreading that thing where they were like, yeah, the Nazis were socialists. Actually, she should know better because her grandfather was a judge appointed by Hitler. I kid you not. That's the head of the AFD. Her grandfather was a judge appointed by Hitler. And that's the people who were like, well, the Nazis were socialists. So it was like, no, you should know better. You should know that they killed the socialists. I mean, your fucking grandfather probably incarcerated a lot of the socialists as a Nazi judge appointed by Hitler.
My grandfather showed me how the Nazi salute looked. Elon did not extend the arm enough. It was not a Nazi salute.
Well, it's just
no
like
one knows better than me.
The conservatives, like, it's a big scandal because the conservatives sided with AFD to push anti-immigration legislation through, and it's a giant scandal right now because they all agreed, like the center right, the center, and the center left was just not going to work with them. Like, that's it, just resist them entirely. And it's sad to see like the center right break and like gravitate towards the Nazis. But like, imagine if we had a tenth of that energy here, where it's like, we're just not going to work with Donald Trump at all. We're going to obstruct everything. At a minimum, treat Trump like Republicans treated Obama and Biden. Just obstruct everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Slow down the process in any way that you can. But there's just, 12 Democrats voted for the Lake and Riley Act. We're talking about Raphael Warnock, a fucking pastor, voted for the Lake and Riley Act, which denies immigrants their due process rights. It fucks over dreamers. It makes it so children could be detained. They voted for that. John Fetterman, John Ossoff, they voted for that shit. 36, 40-something Democrats voted for it in the House. That is not acceptable at all. They should never go along with anything. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's naming a post office. You obstruct that shit. Fuck that. Don't let them get anything. But they're just like, no, you know what? Since we, maybe we're going to push them a little bit on Tulsi, maybe we'll give them Pete Hegseth. You can just say no to them all. Like, it's so frustrating because without an effective opposition, fascism will win and it'll get worse. And Trump will dismantle democracy and institutions. He's already doing it. He signed Schedule F. I feel like exasperated, like watching.
Didn't Marco Rubio get zero pushback? It was complete unanimous. All the senators voted him. I was like, for what? Did you get a little treat for that? Did you just get like? Did you really approve him? Everyone did. Even like what, Sanders? Like, why did everyone vote for Marco Rubio? I didn't get that.
Sanders should have opposed them just on the grounds that he supports genocide. He wants war with Iran.
Easy.
He's never seen a war that he didn't like.
You're not going to stop it. He's getting through either way. Like,
yeah, just vote against it.
Yeah, at least throw a Hail Mary and vote against it.
Yeah,
just a fuck you vote against it.
There's very few Democrats even just speaking out to give like their base, like, you know, just even like the verbal like breakdown and sort of everything will, you know, stick with us, everything will be okay. They're like completely like. AOC, to her credit, is out there constantly, like, you know, the House hasn't really got the power to stop any of these picks, but she's out there like knocking at them and letting people know that she's gonna like oppose stuff. Where's everybody else? I mean, I don't.
You don't even get the theater anymore.
What?
Well,
there's not even political theater.
Yeah, they're not even using the pulpit they got.
They came out recently and said that maybe our future is John Fetterman. Maybe that's the guy we all got to get on for 28. That's our guy.
May the Fetterman come to bring us.
The guy is pretty much MAGA already. They're like, that's our guy.
Yeah, at this point,
their own version.
Like even if they don't care about his support, his unwavering support for every single thing Israel has done in Gaza, which they don't, obviously. He is like, with even putting that aside for them, for the liberal mind, he's been like the most pro-Trump Democrat out there. He's been openly supporting everything he said, poo-pooing on any sort of attack from whatever Democrats have been doing something. You know, he was batting down any criticism of these guys. Like, are you kidding me? This guy is who's gonna herald in the next Democrats. Like, this is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
The way you defeat fascism is by elevating one of the biggest collaborators with the fascists. That'll do it.
But he wears a hoodie. It's so relatable.
just like us. I'm wearing a hoodie, so he
he's
must
just a
represent
regular
me.
guy. He's just a regular guy wearing a hoodie, a regular guy who was able to be a mayor for basically no money because he had a trust fund, just like a regular person. We all had stints as mayors of a small town because we had trust funds and didn't need to worry about a salary.
Exactly.
All of us here.
And he used to post
did.
the dank memes. You know, it used to be so funny. He was the funny guy.
Dank memes.
Yeah. And it just feels like we're so cooked.
If we're looking for any type of silver lining from the electoral space, I did appreciate something Summer Lee did recently, where she was basically saying what you can do, like what you can do in your community and stuff like that, and what types of, what types of, I hate to use the word, but it's the only one that's coming to mind right now, resistance you do have just as a citizen, and what your rights are if ICE shows up and stuff like that.
That is important.
Yeah, and on that note, since you brought that up, I saw Ariana's TikTok about yelling "La Migra" if you see ICE, to just kind of like alert everyone in the vicinity. I've been saying that in my videos as well.
Cool.
And also just like letting people know who are watching that if you are an immigrant or you are a citizen and being profiled, either way, you do not have to answer ICE's questions. You can refuse to sign something, and you should. If they ask to search you, you can ask them for a warrant. Just literally knowing your rights, that is going to put a wrench in their system. Tom Homan was on CNN complaining that people know their rights, so it's so hard to deport people.
They call it know your rights. I call it avoiding or like escaping arrest. Like
right.
So you're okay. I mean, of course he's okay with this, but okay with arresting people unlawfully. Like that's what he's essentially arguing.
Yeah.
It's crazy because so there's been multiple reports of people, especially in Chicago, they're so well read on their rights that they're struggling to detain people. And I think one thing that a lot of people don't know, unless they have a judicial warrant that's signed by a judge, you don't owe them anything. Like you don't owe them anything. They come up to your door, you're like, don't even open it. Say if you have a judicial warrant, slide it under the door if they don't. And most of the time, what they've been doing is people will say, hey, do you have a judicial warrant? And they'll say, oh, they'll go to the car, they'll grab an administrative warrant, they'll kind of like bullshit fill it out, and then they'll bring it back and they'll be like, here's a warrant. But an administrative warrant that's not signed by a judge, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a scare tactic. And a lot of like immigrants have a lot of rights unless you do get arrested. Based on the Laken Riley bill, if you do get arrested, it gives them ground to deport. But as long as you're nice and you just assert your rights, they can't take you.
Yeah, and to your point, that's such an important thing to say about immigrants having rights, because this has already been adjudicated by the Supreme Court. If you are an immigrant, if you're just on U.S. soil, you are entitled to constitutional rights. In fact, Glenn Greenwald posted about this today. To his credit, I have a lot of disagreements with him, but he talked about the Yick Wo case. That is so important because that right there, you could cite that case. Do you think the ICE agent is going to know about Yick Wo and the precedent there from the Supreme Court about, immigrants having their constitutional protections? Of course not. So if you literally educate yourself and your community, that is a huge way to push back right there. And it's already having an effect. So I think that, also as Tracy says in the chat, film it just like Dr. Phil did. Absolutely film it. And by the way, there's this, sorry, I'm trying to it keeps rolling. There's this effort to like make it seem like it's just the criminals. You see Dr. Phil and Fox News going on these ride-alongs. Last week we talked about the
Cenk and Anna saying the same thing too, and it's complete nonsense.
It's 50%
Dr. Phil just
are
goes
not
on side
criminals.
quest now. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, I just have to say that.
No, but he wants you to think that like it's just criminals. He wants you to think that these little individualized cases, this guy's a murderer, that's representative of like all the immigrants. No, 50% are not criminals. And it is never just about getting rid of the criminals. It's about people who are here because to them they think they're all criminals because they're here illegally. No human being is illegal, but that's their way of thinking. So you have to understand that like that is a propaganda tactic, and know when you see propaganda. Like I think Rebecca did a great job last week spotting the fake ass Fox News propaganda with the Haitian guy who didn't have a Haitian accent. It was very weird. They were letting him scream into the camera. Like, a lot of this shit is performative. I don't trust Fox News. Just like there's going to be a massive propaganda campaign. We're going to be subjected to tons of different psyops. Just like be vigilant and overly skeptical these next couple of years, and like inform yourself and people, because that's the only way that you can really push back, at least temporary, until things really ramp up, because they will be going into schools. Like that is something that is going to happen.
They already have. No, they have here in California.
Have they?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they've shown up to schools. They've shown up to churches.
Yeah, because they can. And Trump made it so they can go into hospitals, churches, and schools. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's gonna be and like even if you don't care, like just if you're one of these people who hates immigrants, fuck you. But I mean, do you want your kid in school to see their classmate get deported? Like, can you imagine what that would do to them mentally?
Probably.
Yeah, that's a bad question to ask. But like,
well, here's a better question to ask. Here's one. If you have a problem with immigrants, yeah, fuck you. But guess what? Do you like having stuff in your grocery stores? Because what's been happening. A bunch of people were not able to go to work on the farms today in California. So there's a bunch of citrus in particular that is literally rotting. It is rotting. And guess where 75% of domestic fruits and vegetables come from? California. So unless you want to see groceries get even worse, which by the way, I thought Trump was going to bring down egg prices. Where's that at?
Yeah.
This is what you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. And
not to mention, he's now mentioning the tariffs again. Apparently, he will be doing 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico.
Did he just
which is going to fuck all of you people over.
Stupid idea.
Yep. I mean, it'll fuck
that
us
is
just over
so
too in
dumb.
response, but.
He announced tariffs on Taiwan chips too, no? Like 2 days
that part
ago?
was weird. I think he
that was
misspoke there, because that
going
would
on?
be a disaster geopolitically. I cannot see a single advisor not sitting down and being like, "Sir, actually, we need those chips. We lied to everybody that they're necessary for the AI race. Don't turn them down." But...
So I know that Canada will have to retaliate in some way. So are you guys going to be okay that you're not going to be able to buy Miller Lite for a while? Will you be?
I've been stocking up.
You got to, because you're not going to get that sweet domestic nectar for a while.
Bush X, no more
Might
Bush
not
X.
be able to survive.
Yeah,
I actually like Molson's, so I think you guys will be fine.
It'll be devastating, unfortunately, for the economies. Like we're here in British Columbia, they've estimated that about 120,000 people will lose their jobs, and potentially, tens of billions of dollars will be lost. And it's going to be basically really, really shitty for a lot of poor people. And Trump won't really suffer that much until people connect the dots. And I don't think
the government's apparently prepping a COVID-like response to help people and small businesses deal with the whole issue. So we're going to see,
which would be awesome if they did. I think they won't get credit for it, but
which they should. I mean,
honestly, that would be if they actually go through with if Trump actually goes through with the tariffs, that's actually the best case scenario for everyone, honestly, because if Canada is not hurting from the tariffs, like if Canadians are fine because of the government's response, and Americans hopefully see that they're the only ones. It's not actually hurting both. Like Americans are fine with hurting themselves if they're hurting others. We've already figured that out. But maybe if they see that they're getting hurt, but the others are fine, maybe that will be something they're not too happy with.
Yeah, I think you have a point there, except that hasn't worked for healthcare. So. That's true.
Yeah.
The what issue there, but I do hear what you're saying in terms of just the cost of things. If you're all getting screwed and no one else is, then that's going.
I hate to say it, but if you promised Americans cheaper groceries or universal health care, they're picking cheaper groceries because I mean it's just the truth. I mean,
that'll start the revolution.
They view that as an everyday expense that affects them every minute because they are constantly going to the store buying stuff. You eat every day multiple times, right? Yeah. So they're willing to push to spend a little bit less on groceries in order to just with the roll the dice that they won't need that health insurance, that universal health care.
And you know what the other ironic thing is too? If Kroger and Albertsons is able to merge, that would be a gross homogenization of our grocery chain. It would lock in high prices indefinitely. And the only person standing in the way of that was Lina Khan, and she's out the door now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not. It is bleak.
She was
Not
the
only
best thing about the
that-
Biden administration.
No,
Oh,
she
by far the
was.
best thing. Yeah, by
Yeah.
far.
They're also bringing dynamic pricing. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah.
Yes. That is so dystopian
With
and
facial
psychotic.
recognition, so they can identify. Oh, can this person afford
No.
to pay more? It's just
No.
God.
It's just basically
That's the one that I
based-
saw.
No, based on the time of the day that you go, they change the price of the good. So, for example, a lot of
Oh.
people get off of work at
Surge
5
pricing.
p.m. So, from 5 to 7 or 8 p.m., if you go into the grocery store, something that's usually $3 would be $4.50. But then if you go like at 2 p.m. when everyone's at work, then it's a little cheaper. Or like if the color is different, then it's a little cheaper. It's dynamic pricing so that they can save the environment so that they don't throw away their food. That's their reasoning for it.
So it's
I'm
work,
showing up at
actually.
the
Nice.
I'm showing up at the 24-hour grocery store at 4 a.m. No one's there. Give me the food for free, bitch.
You might want to go at like 2 a.m. because I feel like 4 a.m. people are getting up. Probably
True.
2
All right, 3 a.m. 3 a.m. then. I'll go.
Yeah, 3
I don't
a.m.
think
is-
they understand that more people are just gonna steal. Like that's just what's gonna happen. Like you lock up shit, you lock up the laundry
It's-
detergent, you lock up like the
it's what
soaps. They're just
CVS
gonna either
discovered.
steal or buy online.
No,
it's
CVS
just-
discovered it. It came out. They were like, yeah, it turns out when we locked things up, people are just like, oh, okay, I just won't go shop there.
Yeah.
Literally. They're so
It's
fucking
amazing.
dumb.
I mean, honestly, I did that. Like, if I went in to grab something and I had to take the time to go find someone to get them to unlock the shelves so I could take off, like I could grab a bottle of like shampoo or something.
Deodorant?
like-
I've seen
yeah,
like deodorant locked up.
I'm just not gonna go there. I'm sorry. That's just the case. I'm just not
What
going there.
pisses? No, they always only have like one employee for 20 different aisles. You literally have to
Yeah.
go and you have to go hunt them down, and then you have to be like, "Hey, can you come?" And then they usually have like 4 other people waiting. It's just such a hassle. Like it's so.
Because yeah, that's such a
I
good
hate
point. Because
it.
they cut labor down as low as they can. Like just when I worked at Walmart, just like I'm dating myself. This was a while ago. So when other people would take their break, there were times where I was in control. I had the keys for electronics, photo, jewelry, and the sporting, which also had like people getting gun licenses and shit like that. And so like I'd be all the way down in sporting. Somebody would page they want a video game, and I'm like, well, and then the manager would come over like, hey, somebody's trying to they've been trying to get a game. I'm like, I'm one person. Like they cut it to like as low as they can, and then they expect people to like wait around. No, they're not. They're just gonna go online. Like this is why brick and mortar is dying as well. Not just because of the convenience of online, but because it's easier to just okay, well, deodorant is now behind, or the toothpaste is behind this like little locked cabinet. I guess I'm gonna do like an order on Amazon and have it like ship every single month automatically. Right? It's a boon for Amazon and Jeff Bezos, honestly. So like these stores are fucking stupid.
Well, since we're on the topic too, when we're talking about like stuff you could do, how you buckle in these next 4 years, if you are at a store and you see somebody stealing food, no, you didn't.
Right.
No, you
Exactly.
did not.
You didn't see shit.
You saw nothing.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't even gotta tell me. That's been my
Yeah, anyone ratting
my
someone else out
rule
for food is
yeah.
ridiculous.
Me too, but
Yeah.
you know, just putting it out there anyway.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't rat anyone out for anything.
Right, I was
I'm
about
not
to
my
say
own
you can
business.
steal a TV in front of me and I'm quiet.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
includes when I
I'm
work at the
not
place.
anything.
What's so
If it's like my
funny-
minimum wage job, I'm like, oh yeah.
I mean, unless you're pickpocketing someone, and then even then, I'm not gonna rat you out to like the police. I'm gonna just tell the person you're pickpocketing, hey, that guy's trying to take something out of your bag. You know, like
It's so funny because like going back to Walmart when I worked there, we had our loss prevention guy. He was like saying, listen, you gotta, when they were first training, they're like, you gotta walk the people out to their car with the TV when they buy it. And I'm like, you have to walk them to the car? And they're like, yeah. It's like we'd put the TVs in the carts and they would just walk out with the TV. And my thought was like, that's fucking base. Like, god damn, that is amazing. Like to just walk out with a fucking TV. You know what? They earned that TV. Okay, fuck you. Yeah. Don't ever snitch. If you snitch, you get stitches, as people in the chat are saying.
But I will say though, like, if you are planning to steal, like, definitely be careful because a lot of these big stores are using AI and stuff like that, and they will clock you. Like, they will build a whole entire rap sheet on you, and they'll clock you badly. And especially in a state like California, petty theft can land you like a hefty. Ever since they repealed, what was it, Prop 36, I believe.
The whole the 3-strike thing.
Yeah.
That's not the proper name, but that's basically.
Wait, but I heard that it was legal to steal in California.
No,
Hey, I'm not advocating for anyone to steal. I'm just saying I'm not going to do anything about it if I see you steal.
No, I'm just saying. If you're inclined to steal, just be careful. They might clock you with AI.
Hey, kids.
Yeah, just don't ruin your life stealing. But like, if you see somebody steal, don't ruin their life and snitch
Don't
on
ruin
them.
their life. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to have each other's backs. And if you choose to rat somebody out, you are literally choosing a multi-billion-dollar company over some person who just wants like some fucking gum.
That hates you. They won't even
Listen, I'm
reward
not
you.
I'm not speaking from experience here, but let's just say you got to be smart about it. You know, those self checkouts are there for a reason. You know.
Speaking of stealing, we should get some super chats here.
You go up with if I was to steal.
David's like, can I go to please? Like, stop
It's
giving
10:40. I gotta
how to steal.
Yeah.
You go up with a bunch of items.
Get out of here.
You actually scan and pay for the cheap things, and then that bigger item just didn't scan for some reason. I don't know what happened. The scanner must be broken.
I almost just quick
didn't even realize. Didn't even notice.
Quick story here. I almost had a Best Buy employee steal from me, which is a hilarious reversal because I bought a television and I know they did this on purpose. They didn't think I knew better. So I bought this TV and they're like, okay, we'll bring it out. So they brought out the TV. I put it in my car. I look back. I'm like, that's like last year's model. That's not what I bought. Like they gave me a less expensive television because they were going to turn around the other one. So I had to go out. I didn't want to rat them out, but I'm not gonna fucking take home the television I didn't buy.
Right.
This is like years ago, but I went back in and got my TV. But the manager was like looking at them like, "What the fuck you guys doing?" Like they clearly did it on purpose. But yeah, just watch how you go to Best Buy.
To me,
I fear that would have worked on me.
Yeah, to me, like
Same.
the thing about that isn't like, oh, they tried to like sell the more expensive TV. That's smart. The thing that would have really offended me is I would have been insulted that they looked at me and was like, "Yeah, this is the fucking sucker we're gonna scam." This guy looks like a
that
fucking
is what
idiot.
bugged me.
No, you know
what bugged me. I'm like, you fucking guys thought you would get away with this shit with me? Like, do you know who I am? Do you know how many video games I play? Like, I know what I'm doing.
David pulling
here's
the
flip side.
card. Oh my god.
Here's the flip side, though, and why you should actually be flattered. They probably pull that move on everybody, and they probably thought, this guy seems like a cool guy who's not going to rat us out. He's just going to come get his TV if he notices.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
no.
Maybe they
Who's gonna
did
do
think
that?
that until he stomped back in the store and went, "Do you know who I am? I'm David Dole from the Rational National.
I play video games."
I think this
500,000
is
subs.
pre-Rational National Days. This is like a while ago, but it was just like, it was wow. Like, all right.
That's funny.
Anyways, speaking of stealing, super chats. Let me.
Yeah.
How super chats related to stealing?
I will say that
Because we're
Considering
stealing
one of the
David's
super chats I
time.
got, I feel like I'm getting like a bandit here, but I'll get to that
I
in a
will
minute.
say that I always stick around for my super chat people. So they should never feel like I'm stealing from them. Like maybe some people who get super chats and don't stick around.
I am. What the hell? I'm sorry, Bandit, that you're able to stay. That you don't
Matt.
sleep.
I'm
you're
gonna
an
stick
owl.
around, but I only have 3 new ones, so I'll just read
Well,
them quickly.
hang on,
They
real
both
quick.
give the $5 when the chat is
Hang on.
apparent.
Go for it.
Stop pausing
Wait.
us.
Hey,
Let's get out of here.
Apparently they
real
meant
quick.
it.
We have a
thank you
guest.
so much.
We have a guest. So
Oh
let me
yeah,
just
sorry,
say,
Ron. You don't have to stay
I
here
don't
if
get
you
to
don't want.
stick around. I want to stick around for
Ron,
the super
you
chats.
are more
I
than
saw a
welcome
couple
to
cool
stay
ones.
or leave. I am plugging your trailer in all of our chats right now. Real
Thank
quick,
you.
tell people where to find you before we get into super chats.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stick around for the super chats because I saw some fun ones. But yeah, my movie is called Left at Wall. You can get it on Apple TV. You can get it on YouTube Movies. You can go right to my website, romplacone.com. Some of those links are there. The movie, again, is called Left at Wall. If you type in Left at Wall in the search bar of your smart TV, it should come up. You can even buy it on DVD if you like physical media. My movie is out now. Please do check it out. It's a really fun time. I'm really proud of the movie. Check out the trailer. Check out the movie. Yeah.
All right, I will shut up and let you all do super chats now.
Who's going first?
Lance, I got a few.
I only have 2 more to read. Abscondage, thank you for the $2. When one Jimmy door closes, another opens. JCast, thank you for the $2. Toenails, even tastier than fungi. And also thank you to Steve_Boots for the raid. Hi, everyone from Steve_Boots. Everyone go check out Steve_Boots.
Oh, Steve is great. I watched a few of his videos this week. He's good. He's good.
Great Canadian coverage.
Mm-hmm. All right, I will quickly go. Emo Dragon, thank you so much for your super chat. Are you supportive of these onesies? Indeed, very much. Next
I never
one.
thought I needed Bernie Sanders saying the word onesie in my life, but we really did.
I got to get on the soundboard. It's so good. Donna Monroe, $2 super chat. Thank you. Says, vote NDP or Green or what? It depends on your riding. It depends who's competitive with the Conservatives. Do not let Pierre Poilievre
vote
form
for
government.
Sarah Jama. She's an independent and she's leading in her riding. Vote
if
for
you are
Sarah
in
Jama.
Hamilton Center, I believe, right? If you are in Hamilton Center, vote for Sarah Jama, who was
awesome.
NDP. She's now independent.
Palestinian.
Yep, not allowed in the party apparently. Well, sorry, that's Ontario, right? The Ontario election.
Yes,
so
it's not for the federal election, but
so yeah, in terms of, I guess, yeah, I mean, this applies to all, whether it's provincial or whether it's federal, but just do not let. I mean, in terms of the federal election, do not let Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives form government. So whether it's the NDP, whether it's the Green, whether it's independent in your riding, see who is the most competitive. Yeah. Thank you, Donna. Next one is.
I like how the four of us were just on board, like we knew exactly what was going on there. Like we were just like, oh yeah, no, that's definitely Ontario. Yeah, no, you're thinking Ontario. I
keep them
Ontario.
updated sometimes. Jay Cass, thank you for your super chat. Says in deep voice, Trojan man. There you go. Next one is woke crypto bro.
Oh, woke crypto bro.
Wait, this one's not from. He sent a few of them. So this is the robbery I was talking about.
David, are you remembering to uncheck them in the?
Yes, I am indeed.
Okay, perfect.
Well, crypto bro, $100 Canadian. I would like to see if you gave the others Canadian. I think I deserve $100
No, he
American.
did, because he gave me Canadian the other day on my stream. So it was Canadian for everybody.
It says some Trump scam coin winnings for you too. I noticed you delete Mark Carney from the thumbnail of that video. Yeah, he ain't the face of the party yet. I admit I am a bit wary of the banker of all bankers being the champion of inequality, climate change, like he claims to be. So in terms of that video, YouTube has this thing where you can do like thumbnail tests. So occasionally I'll do like, you know what, I'll try three different thumbnails and see what works. The reason why he's no longer in the thumbnail is because the one was just Pierre Poilievre performed the best. I do think Mark Carney will. It's going to be him or Chrystia Freeland. I believe is going to end up being the leader of the Liberal Party. I think Carney has a better shot, but we're going to see where things go. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's the Liberal Party. Like you can't expect like, you know, a socialist to run the Liberals. But Mark Carney, in terms of potentially avoiding a conservative majority, I think is probably the best shot the Liberals have. Thank you again, well, crypto bro. Well, one more here from Kowalski, if I can find it, because there's a lot in here. Here we go. Kowalski's, thank you for your super chat. Says, in some okay news, I know a couple conservative Saskatchewan farmers that are pissed over the Conservatives not taking a strong stance against Trump. Yeah. I imagine there's going to be a few of those. So we'll be curious to see how the whole tariff thing plays out. Hopefully it's not as shitty as it feels like it's going to be. But all right. Thank you all for the super chats, and thank you all for the great conversation. Very enlightening. It was good to be back this week. I was gone last week. I maybe gone next week.
Great to have you back.
I'm just like over. I'm over politicked, so
Yeah.
I guess
I know,
you know,
I feel your pain.
it's
By the way,
just-
I
it's
did
just-
already put the timestamps in our Twitter chat, so you all can add them to your streams afterwards. I was
Awesome.
doing it while we were talking. I was writing that down. So
Period.
All right.
Thank you.
you're welcome,
night,
VOD
all.
viewers. Take care, David.
Is it okay if I go through mine because I don't
Yes, please go
get
ahead.
as many as you guys do?
Yeah,
Cool.
you might if you
Well,
stood a
then-
little bit longer, but feel free.
Honestly, I'm freaking fried from the liberal army that just tried
No, I
to take
feel
me
your
out
pain.
this week. So
No, I know.
I
I'm just
almost
kidding.
didn't join because I'm
Aw.
just like my brain has been so fried. They have been attacking me for my life, but I'm
Jesus.
doing better today. So
I mean, if
Love
it's
it.
any condolence, I'm pretty confident that there's only 3 of them that actually believe that stuff, and the rest of them are just paid.
oh my god, I know.
I can't
The-
prove it
the
yet,
Deep state.
but I do
George
think.
Soros. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm just gonna go through this real quick. Tyra Bite, thank you so much for the $2. I wanted to pop in to say your hair looks amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The tungsten wire, thank you so much for $5. It's so freaking stupid to bring up who voted for who in January 2025. It's time to get past that and stand up against injustice / oppression for everyone. I totally agree. I feel like everyone is just harping on the wrong thing right now. For sure. Well, Crypto Bro, thank you so much. I tried to send this last week, but it kept giving me error messages. It let me send out 3 super chats, and then I spent the rest of the stream with YouTube and Google support with no avail. It should be sorted out though. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Sorry I bullied you. Thank you so much for the 100. I really appreciate it. I feel like I bullied you into sending me that, but thank you. Parker $2. Chank is afraid to say white, so he says non-minorities. Honestly, I don't even know what Chank is doing these days, so I hope he's doing okay.
I'm starting to tune out of that. I'm getting bored.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, y'all are married to this game, I
Yeah.
guess. I'm over it. Jay Cass, thank you so much for the $2. Panels, thoughts on BRICS nations expanding more? I didn't know about this.
I'm
BRICS
all in
is
favor of it.
an economic unification between a whole bunch of different countries, Brazil, India, and their unification essentially makes the rest of the world less reliant on the U.S. economic dominance on the world sphere. I would like there to be opposition to the U.S. dominance on the world sphere. That being said, you know, we'll see how the whole thing plays out. I haven't seen it really effectively been used to stop like a major trade war, but we might be headed that way right now. So fine.
Hey, competition breeds innovation. We're capitalists, baby. I'm all for
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Work appropriate. Thank you so much for the $5. Quick dono. Definitely thankful for creators like yourself and the rest of the leftist mafia to keep us sane in these dark times. I really appreciate it. I think that's so true. I think like I really identify with what David was saying about there's so much information coming in, you just don't even know what to talk about or cover, because I've been struggling with that all week. Like I wake up, I think I know what I'm going to talk about in a video, and then something else happens, but then something else more crazy happens. So it's been a lot of sensory overload. So I appreciate the acknowledgement. Super Platana Man, thank you so much for the $5. I saw your tweet was not only attacked by crazy shit lips for supporting Palestine, but even your old friend Brianna Wu took a shot too. I want to be very clear. Me and Brianna Wu have never been friends. Fuck that bitch.
How dare you insult her?
Yeah, I don't claim her.
Insinuating that.
Never did.
She sucks.
Yeah.
She's insane. But anyways, thank you so much for the $5. Kowalski, thank you so much for the 5. With the looming fall of the Republic, I can't think of a clever joke. I guess here's $5. Go get a single chicken egg from me. Yo, you know what? I've been thinking about grabbing a mic and just going into a like grocery store and going like Donald Trump and just pointing at the eggs and going like, you said these were going to be cheaper. Why are they so expensive? I feel like, I don't know, Republicans came in with that energy and like no one's showing that energy towards eggs now.
Yeah.
So, you know what
We
I
got to
mean?
get those stickers that I did that and put them on the gas pumps, but with Trump's face this time.
Yes, I agree.
We need to be so fucking insufferable. Like we're not even
We do.
creative.
Actually, that's a
Yeah.
really good idea. I'm gonna get those
We
stickers
do.
printed up.
No, like we do.
That's a
We
good
need
idea.
to be insufferable. Like they were
Right.
so freaking insufferable during Biden's administration, and all the Democrats are just eating shit and staying quiet. Like, no, you're gonna hear
Yeah.
from us. You know what I mean?
Get a stamp with Trump's face and a Hitler mustache and just stamp it on random things. Stamp it on fucking
Period.
like, you know, a little egg carton. Just Have fun. Stamp it on the forehead of your MAGA uncle. Just have some fun. Be insufferable. Be a little bit of a lib, but not too much. You know.
Did you guys see that?
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, weird. OBS crashed. No biggie.
Oh.
Did you guys see that comic where it showed the MAGA person and they're screaming about egg prices and how Trump's going to fix it, and then Trump's in office and they're reading a book and they're going, actually, egg prices are very, very complicated, and none of that's on the
So annoying.
I know.
There was this TikTok of a girl taking one egg from a carton and putting it in her pocket, and she was like, by Saturday I should have a dozen, implying that she's stealing an egg a day. And I was like, I really feel like that's where we're at now, honestly. Okay, anyway.
I love it.
Work appropriate. Thank you so much for the $10. Just adding some hope. There's 35 seats in the Senate up for re-election to 2026, mostly Republican, and there is many seats up for re-election in Congress as well. We might have a chance, hopefully. Well, I'm hoping what happened last time happens, where we completely flip everything into blue and Trump kind of gets a little bit, restricted in what he can pass. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how badly he fucks up with the tariffs and stuff. Juramal, thank you so much for the $5. Can everyone recommend a book relevant to the times?
1984.
Anatomy of a Revolution.
Fahrenheit?
Yeah. I have not been reading political books. I've been reading
Me
fiction
too.
that's like not anything related to
too.
our reality. What I will say is I always recommend Project Hail Mary. That's like my favorite book that I read in recent times. It's by Andy Weir, the author who wrote The Martian. They're making a movie of that, so read the book before the movie comes out. I'm on the fun fiction kick right now because I need to escape, honestly.
Me too. I'm literally reading a book about how this girl is dating a doctor that might be a serial killer. So I'm not the best one to answer this question. I just want to rot my brain with fiction.
Is it by Frida McFadden?
It's called The Boyfriend.
I think that's by Frida McFadden. I fucked with so many of her books. I went on a Frida McFadden kick.
Okay, cool. Because I'm really liking this book. I think I'm going to start buying more of her books. Like, it's really good.
Read The Housemaid next.
The Housemaid. Okay, I'm going to write
10 out of
that
10. Yeah.
Okay.
Lovecraft Country is really good. I just read it randomly. I'd recommend it too.
Is that based on the show?
Good fiction. No, it's just basically a look. It's like, exploring the idea of why is there so little science fiction written for like people of color or women, and then the nightmare of people living within the actual racism of the U.S. trying to think about that. It's neat. It's kind of you'll learn a lot of really interesting history, but if you like also kind of like creepy and scary things, it's fun. So I'd recommend Lovecraft Country.
Nice.
Cool. Definitely going to grab those. Spams, thank you so much for coming in. Elon Musk wants to go to Mars to open gate to hell to harvest ardent energy, which is made from the souls of tortured spirits. Doom eternal. Shout out. Honestly, I'm going to be real with you. If it gets to a point where like humanity is about to go extinct and our only option was to hop on, one of Elon's spaceships for $1 million to go to Mars, I would genuinely rather get wiped out. Like I'm not interested. You know what I mean? Just like, just give me some shrooms or something. Let me be a little high. I'm good. I'm okay with my fate.
Yeah.
Lizzie Bennett, thank you so much for the $5 about John Fetterman. It was either him or Oz. At the moment, if you lived in Pennsylvania, you were screwed. Okay, hot take. I think Dr. Oz would have been better than Fetterman.
Honestly, yeah, I agree. I agree. At least maybe on Israel-Palestine.
Right, like
we don't know. Has he ever said anything? I mean, I'm not saying that wouldn't be better.
He wouldn't have been good. He just wouldn't maybe
he
have
been terrible, but
we wouldn't have been a Democrat doing it. Yeah, that's true too.
Because at least with Oz, like, you know what? I've got to put some respect on Oz. Like, he was like, listen, I'm a Republican fascist. Like, this is who I am. Vote for me and you get that. You know what I mean? John Fetterman put up this whole I don't know though, maybe the stroke. I was talking to my boyfriend, he was like, people who get strokes change all the time. Like they just completely lose themselves and they turn into a completely new person. He sees it all the time in the hospital. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe the stroke did something to him. I have no clue.
He admitted it did. It made him a conservative. So yeah.
No, literally. Right. It's so sad. Tracy, hi Tracy. Thank you so much for giving me the €5. I really appreciate you. I'm really worried about Sandy of Left of the Box. As a non-binary person, Sandy is struggling. They expressed feelings that raised red flags for me. Who is that?
Oh, Sandy Lobos. They are a smaller non-binary creator on YouTube. I've been on their show. David Dole's been on their show. I'll reach out to them and
Yeah.
make sure that they're doing okay. I'll send them a little DM. Thanks for
Yeah.
letting me know about that.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. Yeah, I feel like if someone who knows them could reach out, that would be cool. Otaka Dragon, thank you so much for $2. Greta Thunberg is autistic and not a Nazi. I had no idea Greta Thunberg was autistic.
Yeah. And also not a Nazi. Definitely
Right.
not a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looney Tunes, thank you so much for always being the best mods. Put this donut for my work between you and Lance. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Django Fett, thank you so much for the $3. Bay Photo. Former CVS employee here. Believe me, the employees hate that everything is locked up too. It's one more task they have to deal with on top of everything, and the corporate refuses to increase payroll hours. I agree. I think it's just hated on all different sides. Also, did you guys see that report where the stores actually came out and they said that it's hurting our sales? Like we aren't, the whole point was that they saved from stealing, but then they lost money. So I don't know. Andrew S, thank you so. I know we love it. Andrew S, thank you so much for the $10. Catalyst, thank you so much for the 5. Haters gonna hate. Don't forget to self-care. I totally agree, which is why I read stupid fiction books. Z, sub to your channel recently, and I loved your video on Destiny Drama. Looking forward to watching more videos on your stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, my team and I took days to aggregate that video because that man is problematic. But thank you.
I need to see that still. I'm not super caught up on that.
The allegations went back to 13 years ago, so we had to do a lot of research on it. Yeah, he's not a good person in my opinion. Arenza, thank you so much for the 500 yen. Liberals will always be NIMBYs and will be the first collaborators when they don't get their own way. I totally agree. Last one, Andrew, $5. Thank you so much. We need to brand a clothing line that states, "Do you support the onesies?" On onesies.
Do you support these onesies?
Who's gonna take that idea?
We should do it. We should make Leftist Mafia onesies.
I agree.
That'd be amazing. We should just have like genuine or just regular shirts. We haven't done shit.
I feel like we should.
Time to merch it up. Time to merch it up.
We have done nothing. It's so
we
bad.
should, honestly. I would be down. Like some sweaters or something.
I would buy one.
Sweaters? That's very specific.
I'm a sweater
I
guy.
only wear sweaters, so I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Do you mean like long sleeve shirts? You mean like sweatshirts? Or are you talking like sweaters?
Like sweaters.
Yeah, I love sweaters. I'm a huge
that's
sweater.
not a sweater what you're wearing. That's a hoodie.
Why are you okay? Sweater, hoodie, like
a
chat,
sweater
you guys know what I mean? Like Jesus.
Is like when I think of sweaters, I'm thinking of like Rivers Cuomo from Weezer, like wearing a little sweater.
What?
Like that's what
I'm
thinking.
What is Withers Cuomo for Weezer? What?
You don't know who Weezer?
You don't know Weezer?
No.
Oh my god.
When you said Rivers Cuomo from Weezer, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, wait, oh okay. I had to think for a second.
I have no clue what's going on, chat.
Does Gen Z call hoodies sweaters, or is that just you?
I call them sweaters.
They're not sweaters. They're sweatshirts or hoodies.
There's a difference between hoodies and sweaters, but like a sweater's just a hoodie without the hood, basically.
No, sweaters are like knitted. They're not like that. No.
I've never heard someone call it a knit. Wait, no, he's not wearing a shirt. He's wearing a hoodie.
Who?
Mike, you're wearing a hoodie, no?
Yeah, this is a hoodie.
He's wearing a hoodie. Yeah. It's a long sleeve, or you could call it a hooded long sleeve shirt if you want. I don't know.
The most important thing is
it's not a sweater.
Well, that and no, not a sweater, but stream an album called Pinkerton once you're done here. Yes. I highly recommend it. Start with Pinkerton.
Chat is saying Matt is right. What? I did not. So I did not know this as well. I did not know that there was this distinction between sweaters and long sleeve shirts. Oh, excuse me.
You gotta know clothing, my friend. You gotta be.
Yes, because you're the fashionista of the group. My apologies.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Let's let Ariana have a break, okay? She's been dealing with liberals all week. Let her
Literally
call.
everyone wants to bully me. Zionists, Republicans, liberals. Now I've got the leftists on me. Like, honestly, I'm one person away from becoming RFK at this point. Like, keep fucking with me, okay? The switch is gonna come. If you guys keep messing with me, I swear to God.
She's gonna go Joker mode. Okay, don't fuck with her.
Oh man. Luigi Mangione. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Okay, guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm gonna go eat and hopefully
Take
sleep.
care. And please, Ariana, one last word. Do not worry about this bullshit. It will pass, and nobody's gonna remember this shit in like a week. So don't worry about it.
I know. That's what my boyfriend was
Let it
saying
roll off
too.
your shoulders. It's hard, but just try to let it roll off your shoulders.
I know. They put me what was my downfall was that they posted the screenshot of the tweet on a very big Reddit page and it blew up. So I had very specific Redditors, you know the type of people I'm talking about. They were the ones coming after me. And I was like, listen, if you want to go on a date, you could just say that. But like other than that, like leave my I'm just kidding. I feel like they're all kind of just like repressed men in cells in their basements that
They
are like
hate themselves and they take joy and pleasure out of like making fun of other people. If it makes you feel any better, when I first started doing YouTube videos, one of my videos blew up on Reddit, and it was before I had the beard. So there were upvoted comments that were very high talking about my punchable face without the beard, and then like people zooming in on my face. And I was like, damn, that's pretty fucked up. But I can't say I disagree because I kind of see the point that they're making. I grew a beard after that.
Well, I love the beard for what it's worth.
Thank you.
I love the beard.
It's gender affirming care for men, so it helps.
Period.
Now who has the punchable face, Redditors? Huh?
You! I'm just kidding. The Redditors themselves. All right, guys. It was so much fun coming on this episode. Thank you, chat, for all the money you guys sent. I'm so blessed. Thank you. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
Take care.
It was so nice meeting you, by the way. Thank you so much for coming on.
Nice meeting you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. You want to go next, Mike?
Yeah, I can go next. Okay. My first one here is from, oh, hang on. Let me pause my video on the back end because it distracts me when I see two different feeds. C33394009, $2. Thank you so much. Can we start calling Dogecoin Yahtzee coin now? Let's call it Nazi coin. I think that's what you were going for.
Tracks.
But yeah, I like that.
No, that wasn't Donald Trump's scam though. That was like an earlier scam, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not big in the crypto world, so I wasn't necessarily like privy to what was and wasn't popular. But I did hear of Dogecoin a while because
I will say that Trump's meme coin has been really good for the argument that the whole thing is just a casino. Like it's not a legitimate financial instrument or investment. It's buying a lotto ticket or pulling the thing on the slot machine. Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean our whole system is that. I mean that's basically what Wall Street is. Like it's all just varying versions.
Stocks,
of that.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. John Lithium, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. This is the 3rd week in a row I think you did that, John. Thank you so much. You are so kind.
Way to have a cool name, by the way. John Lithium.
Right.
If you have an album, I want to buy it.
It's got to be his real name for sure.
Yeah, but totally. But still, like just the avatar, John Lithium. I'm on board.
Yeah, you know he's a badass. The Tungsten Wire, thank you for the $2. I own a rooftop restaurant. Come by one day. Maybe I will. That sounds amazing. I love rooftop restaurants. I've been to them before. And it's always cold in Oregon, but if the weather is nice, it really is awesome. Marlon Brimmer, thank you for the $2. Y'all see the TYT story about the plane crash in DEI? I did not see the story. I just saw the tweets. I don't know what TYT is doing because I don't follow them. The only time I hear about what TYT is doing is if the Vanguard is talking about what TYT is doing. So if they talk about that, I will hear about it.
Trying to save their network. That's what they're doing. That's what I think.
Yeah,
doing. Trying to save their network.
Pretty clear.
I think that's all it is. They're just,
yeah.
They're seeing the money that can be made on the right, and so they're just going that way. And I think for both of them, it's not that big of a stretch anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tara, thank you so much for the $5. You're so generous. Did you see Kyle Kalinski's video that came out this week about Kamala being robbed of 3.5 million votes? I did not see it. I saw it on my feed. I didn't watch it yet, though. I know it's about a report from Greg Palast. It doesn't surprise me. Like, I don't know what specifically it refers to, but like if you take voter suppression and voter roll purges and whatnot, like that adds up. So yeah, I kind of feel like that is something.
Is that what it is? And I don't know what Kyle covered, nor do I know what Greg Palast covered, but I do recall in the days and weeks and months following the 2024 election, you had some like blue MAGA-esque conspiracy theories from liberals about, just like how like Donald Trump and company were claiming the 2020 election was stolen.
Right. Well, Kyle has shut down those types, so I doubt that this one is going to be the same.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, there was definitely some of that where they were saying stuff like, "Oh, Russia's going to infiltrate the machines from Moscow and stuff like." But then,
yeah,
Greg Palast is not that. I mean, Greg does some amazing work, and he was basically, I mean, because I had him on my show shortly before the election to kind of talk about, well, what should people brace themselves for? And he kind of laid it out, like just all the suppression tactics he had seen that far. And it really is. I mean, it's a shame that stuff like that gets overshadowed by like just, blue MAGA cultist nonsense when there is some actual true grievances to be had.
Yeah. Especially in Texas, like they put people into a state, like if they send out like an update request to a community that's like disproportionately people of color, and they don't get back, they could be placed into a different like section on the voter rolls where they have to not re-register, but they have to send in information, and so their status is in limbo. So there is things that Republicans do to suppress the vote. With that being said, I have not seen this though, but the takeaway is that we all should have stormed the Capitol on January 6th, apparently. No, I'll check it out though on a serious note, because I have not seen it yet, but thank you. Tom, thank you for becoming a
they
member.
all got away with it. Wouldn't have been such a bad idea, I guess, right? I mean, look what ended up happening 4 years later, and they're all free as a bird with zero,
you think a Democrat would pardon us for storming the Capitol? They would let us rot.
That's true, too.
Not that I would ever storm the Capitol for anyone.
Can we add more years to their criminal sentence?
Exactly. We believe in institutions and the respect for the rule of law, so we're doubling their sentences. Zone Fanfic, thank you for the $9.99. Very generous super chat. You go from skeptical to full MAGA because it's literally baked into the Southern strategy. In the 90s, William Cooper died as a conspiratorial martyr. Jim Jones, being a former friend, picked up his torch. Interesting. Chris Corcoran, excuse me. Thank you for the $5. RFK Jr. coming into government like RFK Jr. voice. Hello, polio, my old friend. You're gonna infect the kids again. I can't do the voice, but I get what I.
It is in melody too. So that was a very good, very good framing there.
Yeah, the problem was
you're gonna
really
infect
the
the kids again. Da, 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 da.
Oh,
well
that's
done.
good.
Well done, Chris. Appreciate it.
I'll be honest.
Love
I
it.
don't know if Mike got the reference. To be quite frank.
Yeah, the hello darkness, my old
He
friend.
got it. There it
Okay,
is.
so
Mike coming through.
Give me
sometimes
some
doesn't-
credit.
Yeah, sometimes Mike isn't on the up and up with some of the.
I'm a little bit out of the loop with what the kids are listening to these days. They're Justin Biebers and they're Beatles.
And apparently not Weezer. Apparently not Weezer.
I know. It just took me a little bit, but I remember. Okay, so the next one here is from It's Over 9,000. Thank you for the $5. Just finished a long day helping seniors and the disabled with SNAP and Medicaid. Hey, that's amazing. They are terrified. The trauma's real. Thank you, Leftist Mafia, for helping me unwind. Well, it sounds amazing what you're doing. The fact that you're doing this is awesome. I don't blame them for being terrified, but the fact that they have people like you is great. And I'm glad that we can help you unwind.
I'm actually interested in, like, do they have they the people who you work with who have said they are worried about their SNAP and Medicaid? Do they talk to you about politics? I'm interested in what like their takeaway is. Are they actually blaming Trump, or is it just like, you know, you get Trump fans who try to like beat around the bush even when they're being negatively affected by the guy they voted for. Again, none of these people deserve whatever is Trump has in store for them. But I am interested in like just basically seeing like how they're processing it and what's going forward. I'd be interested in hearing stories about that, honestly.
Yeah, this makes me want to do like voter panels and just talk to people. You know, I should do some fucking voter panels and like try to like reach out to people on Facebook in like Pennsylvania and just swing states and just like take a temperature check.
You could
take a temp. Yeah,
you could do your boomer. Get all the boomers you need right there on Facebook.
That's why I said Facebook right away.
find. Facebook will eventually recommend you, probably very soon, an AI slop image. Like a little kid who's missing like both their legs yet somehow is like ice skating, and the caption will be like, "This will never go viral," and and then you just gotta look at the comments to all the boomers going like, "Oh, this is so beautiful! What a beautiful child!" And there you go. Just contact them, and they'll let you know exactly how they feel.
You know who I'm gonna go after? The ones who repost those long things where it's like, you know, if you support this nation and Pledge of Allegiance and you
half
respect
of you
the
won't read
Constitution.
this.
Yeah, that's exactly the one. Yeah, or the one like equals one prayer. Those are the ones that you got to go after to really see where America's at. Okay.
I will say though, I have seen some crazy ass shit on Facebook this past week.
Like, I have not gone near Facebook.
Fake news I did not even come across on like Twitter, like stuff that's not even coming out of like MAGA world influencers, just like full throttle, like just crazy ass shit that Facebook boomers are just making up. Like I saw one post that was like, did you hear Trump found 25,000 of the missing children that hadn't been lost under the Biden administration? God bless Trump. And then you look at the comments and it's all MAGA people going like, hallelujah. And then you get a few people being like, oh, can you send me a source on this? I want to read more about it. And they'll be like, there is no source. I just feel it. Hallelujah. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
Facebook is what? You know what? I kind of want to do a video just on Facebook conservatism. This makes me
it is wild.
The gears
stuff.
are turning.
Like,
shit's wild over there. Yeah.
Conspiracies on there and the AI images that go viral on there.
AI Marvel movie posters, shit like that.
And it's not like on Twitter where it's like, oh, look at this cool AI image I just made, and it's just the most ugliest thing you've ever seen. But at least they're openly saying like, yes, this is AI because I made it with AI. On Facebook, it's literally people being fooled by the most ridiculously fake imagery you've ever seen in your life.
Look at this poor cat on crutches.
Right.
Nobody will like this poor cat with a cane. And then people are like, oh, I'd adopt him.
Did you see the DEI firefighter AI image that was going around? Literally, no. it was AI, super crazy AI imagery. So obviously AI. It was the most round, like rotund individuals, and they had face piercings and like crazy dyed hair, but they were wearing a firefighter uniform. And the image was like, these are who's running California's firefighters under DEI. And all the Facebook comments were 100% not like, and like thinking it was real. Like, oh, I can't believe this is California's leadership for the firefighters. It's like, what are you like? This person can't even exist. They're just a round circle. They look like the planet Earth. They're with a little like head on them. Like these people don't exist.
I cannot handle it. Or there's also the AI photos of Donald Trump with like an eagle, and he's like his shirt is torn off, and he has like a 6-pack, and his like dick bulge is showing, and these like get like hundreds of thousands of likes. Facebook is a different kind of a beast. It's so like wild that people still use that.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Mortified Penguin, thank you for the $10. Any fellow feds listening, please join your union if you're a collective bargaining employee. AFGE is already filing suit against 47 and have been sending us detailed info on the shitstorm. Interesting.
Yeah, join a union, especially now because he's trying to get the labor board and
Yep.
I mean, not that labor was great under Biden, but yeah, join a union now.
Yes, yes, always do that if you can.
Always.
Bay Photo, thank you for the $5. An airplane crash at the airport named after the president that fired striking air traffic controllers. How fitting. I did not even think about that. Yeah. Wow. Rowan Chandler, thank you for the $10. Really appreciate that. Love this stream. Well, hey, I'm so happy to hear that you love the stream. Also, thank you for becoming a new member. Really appreciate that. Max Danger, thank you for the 5. If the Dems want to step up at the moment, they should call for a general strike.
That'd be amazing.
That would be
that will
amazing.
never happen.
Yeah,
that will never ever happen. Because then that's basically them saying, "Hey, you don't need us. You have power outside of us." Which is, by the way, I think that's the only true method for actual change. I mean, somebody tweeted at me and they were like, "What politician do you think could fix this?" And I was like, "None. We need a general. Last name, strike." You really shut this shit down, and the oligarchs who really run this place, the Jeff Bezos of the world, they feel it in their pocketbook right away. Yeah, things will change. But for a general strike to happen, you need to have a lot of cooperation. You need to have people who aren't 1 or 2 paychecks away from going under at all times. And you need to have people whose healthcare isn't tied to their jobs. And we don't have that. That's why they strike like hell in other places. In France, they'll strike on the snap of a finger because they got the systems in place for it, and their healthcare is not tied to their job.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to come from Congress. Something like that, if it ever happened, would come from unions or labor leaders, or like organizers in general. Because Congress would be the one to try to break up that strike and stop it before it happens, including most Democrats. Thank you to Greg Wright for the $5. Deport Luigi to Italy, and I'll go pick him up. Allegedly. Hey, I'm for it. I'm all for it. Archangel, thank you for the $10. Very big super chat. Did you guys see that Trump wants to deport some undocumented immigrants to Gitmo? I'm military and heard they're preparing for flights there as early as tomorrow. Disgusting and sad. Yeah, let's call it what it is. That's a concentration camp. Currently, ICE only has the capacity to hold, I think it's like 30,000 migrants. But if they send them to Gitmo, that has a capacity of 40,000. So this is dark. It's not the first time.
Wait, Gitmo even has that much space? I thought it was much less.
Apparently, they have 30 to 40,000 beds, I believe. I can't remember what the number was that Trump cited. So they basically double their capacity to detain people like that if they actually go through with this, which they will. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But that's going to be hard because, you don't have access. Journalists can't really see what's happening there. So human rights can be abused. These cries will go unheard. I mean, last time we had a lot of people there. They were being tortured. And right now it's like, I think we're down to like dozens of people at Gitmo. There should be 0 and it should be closed. But like, if this happens, that is going to be a humanitarian crisis. Like, that will be massive. Like, I don't think people will understand just how bad that's going to be. Asa, CFO of Enron, thank you for the $2. I found a perfect nickname right now for Donald Trump. Dementia Don. Hey, I like it. Zone Fanfic, thank you for the $9.99. I'm going to roll the dice on this one. Trust me on this one. MK Ultra levels of effery is going on now. We must remain proactive but tactful. YouTube Chase Hudges. Once you know this, every Sayo. Chase Hudges. Okay, I'll look into that if I can remember. I do agree that we need to be vigilant, but also with your vigilance, don't let it don't lull yourself into a state of paranoia, because this is how you kind of become tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. Like, when I say be skeptical and be vigilant, be reasonable. Trust your instincts, use common sense. Don't become a crazy wackadoo. Just look out for your neighbors. Question media that you're reading and think of biases and whatnot. Just things like that. Jeffrey Williams, thank you for becoming a member. Chuck Reynolds, thank you as well for becoming a member. Tokyo Hans, thank you for the 500 yen. Mike, just get a little Canadian flag pin. For some reason, every time I run into a Canadian here, they have a little pin on them. Do they really? Because they probably don't want you to think that they're Americans, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they always travel with that, typically. Yeah.
They know what's up. That's smart.
Yeah, they get it. I mean, it makes sense.
That's what I would do if I was a Canadian, so they didn't think I was American. Unknown, thank you so much for the £5. Spain has really good LGBTQ refugee legislation, including recognition of intersex reasons for fleeing for people who need it. Not perfect, though. That's good to know. That's really good to know. Yeah, I think that if things continue to deteriorate, these countries are probably going to update their LGBT refugee laws, but that may change depending on who becomes governor. Whoever takes over in government, like Canada right now, as Lance was saying. Like, they have those types of laws and protections, but that might change if Polyev and conservatives take over. So, like, just pay close attention to who's in power. In Italy, fascists are in power right now. So, you know,
They
no place is
changed the laws over in Italy because I was looking into like citizenship by descent over there, and they changed the laws. The Maloney government. So like I no longer qualified. And so yeah, I mean people know it's like, yeah, they know Americans are trying to flee the ship. And they're just like, nope, sorry, you gotta stay where you're at.
Yep. A lot of people I've seen on TikTok are talking about like you can try to use if you have Irish heritage to get citizenship in Ireland. Great information. You'll have to Google that. I have not a single like ounce of iron of Ireland inside of me, so that's not gonna benefit me. I am like 85% Portuguese and 15% Spanish, so it's just going to be in that little corner of Europe if they have any.
Portugal is still very friendly to people, especially if you want to be what I'm sure you're familiar with a digital nomad, which
that's what I was actually looking into.
You all would qualify. I mean, yeah, so it's Portugal. They got that pretty cool digital nomad visa.
Yeah, a lot of countries have that. Even like a lot of Latin American countries, Costa Rica, they have digital nomad visas, and that's something that There's
and then it's like you just keep renewing it until they give you permanent residency. It's like you can just renew it every year, and as long as it's like, oh, this person is not taking a job from anybody because they have their own thing that just needs an internet connection, and they spend money in our country and they're nice, so yeah, keep hanging out here.
Right. No, they're cool with it. Yeah. No, there's options. It's one of those situations where you kind of have to have the resources, and it's hard to leave family and whatnot. So there's that. And if you have a job, but I mean, if you want to become an expat, or an immigrant, which is what I love how we call ourselves like expats when we move abroad and not immigrants. That's kind of like our mentality. But there's to do it. JCast, thank you for the $2. Have you tres leche cake yet? You're missing out. I have not. I've been on a diet since New Year's because I ate really good during the holidays, so I'm still on a diet. But the first chance that I get, I will try tres leches because I really want to.
It's quite good, man. We have it here in California all the time. Yeah, it's good.
It's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I bet. I will definitely try that. That'll be like one of the first things I try if I can remember. Because when I'm on my cheat day, when I get one, I'm gonna go crazy. So I'm gonna want a lot of shit. Stevie, thank you for the $5. Christians don't realize that Jesus already came back as Dale Earnhardt, who died before 9/11, and we've been in a slow apocalypse ever since. Oh well, more of them should know. You should spread the word. Googly Moogly, thank you for the $5. Mike, it's time to start the rumbling. I think so. I think it might be.
What does that mean?
Those who don't know, that is a reference to
you
the
going to
anime
rumble?
Attack on Titan.
Oh.
I can't explain it further than that because it would be a spoiler for anyone. So, but it's from it's an anime reference. So
okay, I mean yeah.
I prefer the you're going to Rumble. You're gonna start streaming on Rumble.
I mean that's just what I thought. Like I was like, is that what that is?
Yeah,
like you're going over to Rumble.
Hey, we've been there. Thomas LL4, thank you so much for the $5. I work with an ASD mouse model and they just won't stop doing the salute. It's out of control. As a dev neuroscientist, this has been frustrating. I bet. It's probably been frustrating so much to a lot of people. And by the way, thank you so much again to Autistic Goblin for the $20 who explained. I'll read it one more time. But she mentioned this earlier. Autism makes it hard to understand social norms, not to avoid bigotry. Bigotry, fascism are not social awkwardness. Fuck these people, making the rest of us look bad. We don't need their help. Yeah, this conversation is it's still insane to me. Like, there's not really enough words to articulate just how batshit fucking insane it is. All to, run interference for this weird ass fucking Nazi billionaire. I feel like I'm losing touch with the rest of this country. Like, I don't identify with them. Like, how can you, like, what the fuck?
Well, don't you have moments where you just take a step back and realize what qualifies for thought leadership in this country, and you just want to like put your fist through a window? It's like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, again, it's like we talked about it earlier on the stream. The fact that RFK is even being considered for a job like this, the fact that there are seemingly rational people taking him seriously that don't see through him, the clown car that Trump has assembled. It's like the fact that this is thought leadership in the United States is just, I mean, this is beyond idiocracy. Like it's gone
1000%.
way beyond that. And look, it's a bipartisan effort. I mean, you look over at the Democrats are the most rudderless, feckless political project maybe out there. Like it's unreal. Like they just have their only thing is like, hey, we're just not them. That's why you don't see anything like it. And like, do you ever think about this? Do you ever think, explain the Democratic Party to somebody who doesn't follow American politics that much and lives in a parliamentary style system? Like, just try to explain it to them, especially explain it like what we have in California. Like, yeah, you have actual Republicans and socialists in the same political party. Why? Well, because we have a monolith, so both groups are trying to enter. And they're like, that's the most ridiculous thing. So how are they in the same political party? Like, they have completely different perspectives on everything. Well, there's not really a policy program. There's not? No. What are the policies? Well, we're not those guys. Like, that sounds terrible. It is.
It's wild. It's wild. Okay, so we are, and I'm almost done, by the way, getting close to the end here. Doug,
did someone not unstar like their super chats? Because it looks like there's a ton.
Yeah, it looks like you guys still have like 5 million more.
I'm still unstarring them all as I go along.
There's no way there's still that.
Oh, I have quite a bit more. That's the problem.
Oh, okay,
we're getting more as we read. I think that's what's happening. Hang on, let me find my.
Because I don't got that many. I mean, I have a good amount, but not as many as it's showing up in the StreamYard backend over here.
Okay. I'll try to go faster because I didn't realize we were getting more as I was going through them. Okay, Doug Grinberg's $2. Thank you so much. Who's editing AFD Wikipedia article adding Musk? That I couldn't tell you.
I hope somebody does. I hope somebody does. More people. And by the way, one of the best assessments on Musk that I've seen, the dollop on Elon Musk. Go listen to the dollop on Elon Musk. If anyone's saying like, are you sure he's an actual Nazi? Listen to the dollop on Elon Musk. And the answer to that question is yes, he is.
Yeah. Kowalski, thank you for the $4.99. Really appreciate that. When RFK makes the autistic labor camps to supplement ag labor from the deportation, I promise to be good overseer. So Mike, what snacks do you want? Ooh, I want blueberries, Cheez-Its, Smart Pop, Pringles, Funyuns. Just look, I'm not super picky. Some honey roasted nuts, a little bit of everything. I'm good. I'm good with a little bit of everything. Cameron Barnett, thank you so much for the $4.99. Do you guys think actor Hill Harper has a bright future in progressive politics? He previously ran for something in Michigan. I don't know who that is, so I hope so. I'll have to look into them. Hill Harper. That name sounds really familiar, so I feel like I would know their face if I saw it, but right now it's not coming to me. The next one is from Cameron. Where's Cameron? I lost my place. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay, so I'm at Storm Chaser. That's the next one. I unstarred Cameron and I lost it, and then I lost my place. Storm Chaser. Thank you for the $4.99. I just hope somebody will cover what happened to Myokai's life. She was on a short form video platform that has been the subject of scrutiny. I've not
supposed to be Myokaiist, right? Is that probably what they're going for?
I'm not. Oh, Myokai's life. Oh, okay. Now right. I see it.
Okaiist.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I've not heard about this. I will try to remember to look into that. Because I'm not familiar with this person or what happened. Asa, thank you for the $2. Walls, JB, and others currently holding line. Yeah, the best resistance that we are getting is from Democratic Party governors and people at the state level. 100% agree with that. Chris Corcoran, thank you for the $2. Fetterman is a discount. Walter White. Hashtag Heisenoger. Yeah. Yeah.
I called him GOP Shrek earlier today.
I like that.
Somebody appreciated it.
That is actually that's good. Drooch, thank you for the $5. Did you guys see Jenks tweet about Trump being right that standards were lowered for air traffic controllers in order to get minorities in? Yep, one step ahead of you.
What is he talking about?
We put it up on the screen earlier.
Yeah, didn't you guys show it earlier?
Yeah. He's like,
oh,
DEI
that
is
tweet.
real.
Oh, right.
It was
No,
another.
I thought someone was getting into what specifically they said on the show. I would love to.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll check it out when the Vanguard covers it for sure. Chris Corcoran, thank you for the $5.
Is that how we watch TYT here? We just wait for whatever the Vanguard covers.
If somebody says,
why should everyone have to suffer through it?
Right,
that's true.
I mean, if someone's willing to, I've said this too. I actually said this on the Vanguard. I'm like, look, down the street from me, I have a neighbor. He's a super nice guy. He has a Rick Caruso sign in his yard. I wear my IWW hat. We always say hello to each other. We always make small talk. I am sure we both realize that if we ever talk politics, we'd have a lot of disagreements. And you know why I don't have a problem with him, though? A, he's my neighbor. He's a nice guy. And B, he doesn't have a network claiming he's the home of progressives. If he was doing that, I'd have a freaking issue.
Right.
You could have different politics to me, but you know what? If you're anti-union, pro-propaganda, anti-trans, all these things, don't say you're the home of progressives. All right, just don't do it. You endorse Republican billionaire developers. Just don't. Just stop.
That's the part that drives me nuts. It's the disingenuity because it's going to trick liberals into going down these more right-wing paths where they're like, okay, so it is. Yeah, it is. So
it already has.
People did start the fires. Yeah, it's scary. So that's why we push back.
Well, even so-called leftists. I mean, leftists who and I know we kind of got to get through this fast. So but it's like even so-called leftists, where it's like what they love more than anything else is just being contrarian for the damn hell of it. Yeah. They'll adopt that bullshit. Well, actually, it's this person who would have been even worse. It's like, no, dude, like you don't know how shit works if you actually think that. But
yeah, it's a slippery slope. Like you plant these seeds in people, and then they bloom into reactionary trees later. So it's just something that you got to combat. Next week we have the guy who was the union organizer for TYT, Hank Thompson. His YouTube channel is Winners and Losers.
Love Hank.
Yeah, he'll come on to talk about his documentary. Because I think it's actually like he's very.
Have you watched
very
it?
Sharp.
It's really good.
I watched it. It's very, very good.
Really good. He did.
Yeah,
an amazing
he explains
job.
it so well. And like I've talked about this before, he has criticism of me in it, but I think it's very fair, given what he knew at the time. Yeah, we'll talk to him next week. So definitely everybody check that out.
I love to watch someone criticize you in their documentary. Let's get right to it. I can't wait to watch it.
Well, unlike some people, I could take criticism, right?
All right.
It's a quality that not everybody has, and sometimes they What's
the do you know what it was? Do you know what he hit you on?
So it was my response where I when the organizers had tweeted at me if I support the union, I said yes, I endorse the union. I retweeted it. And then somebody had reached out to me behind the scenes and said, hey, be careful with this. I think that they might be trying to like do some rat fuckery because the union is canvassing for Cenk's opponent. This was when he was running for Congress, Christy Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, it wasn't true, but I believed it because I trusted them.
Oh, I wish they did.
And so I deleted the tweet and just said, I'm going to like wait until I know. Because I was an outsider. I was part of 2YT Network, but I had never been to the studio. So it's like, well, I don't know. Like if they're portraying Cenk as a union buster, I don't want to like, because at the time, there were like smears of him in the New York Times about how he was like trying to sanitize, what's that guy's name? The Ku Klux Klan leader, David Duke, when he interviewed him. Oh, he was saying, oh, I know you're not racist, but he was being sarcastic. So I thought, okay, I don't trust the Democratic Party. And I feel like maybe there's something going on. So maybe I should just wait. and see what happens. I think that was a bad instinct to have. You should just always side with labor no matter what. And I didn't. I trusted them and kind of like looked like a fool and a useful idiot. So he points that out, and I think he's very fair. It's harsh, but it's accurate. Like I think that given the circumstances and how I reacted, it was a fair way to characterize me.
Well, look, and I'll just say this, and I don't think he'd mind me saying this. I'm friends with Hank. Like I know Hank pretty well, and we've talked a lot about things, and yeah, I mean he has said to me, and I'm sure he'll say it. There were a lot of people who just had bad information, and at the end of the day, it's like, well, that buck stops with Jank, because Jank is the one who propagated all that, and it was a very, very malicious thing, and especially at the same time where there was the Democratic establishment doing a bunch of dirty tricks on him. But, we live in a world where multiple things can be true at the same time, where it's almost, and in every case, you're just seeing people punching down.
Right. So to me, it was a learning experience. And I think that what Hank is sharing is really, it's not just like about the drama, because that's not what it's about, but like it's very educational. Like he explains unions, union law. Like it's such a great documentary. So yeah, we'll talk about that, and maybe we'll play a little bit of it, because it's very, very informative, just for beyond the TYT stuff, just about labor in general. Chris Corcoran, thank you so much for the $5. What I fear most is that we'll see a Tiananmen Square situation here when people inevitably begin protesting. I hope people in government can stand up to him. I think that if there are mass protests that break out, that is when shit is going to hit the fan. It's going to be like 2020 Black Lives Matter on steroids. He wanted to send in the military. He was urged to send in the military back then, but he still was more restrained this time. Not so much. So if you see mass protests for whatever reason, things will get real crazy real quick, honestly.
I mean, yeah, but dude, I mean, he was somewhat restrained, but not. I mean, people like to forget Trump put the country under martial law pretty much. I mean, he did that, and it was, like over Black Lives Matter and stuff. I mean, the stuff he did in DC. I mean, that was like a lot of people like to forget
people to take a photo.
I mean, it's like no, he did that. He oversaw that.
Yeah, no, great point. Okay, so the next one here is going to be £5 from Unknown. Thank you, Unknown. I've just sent a link to you by email. Cannot send it via YouTube chat. It's for DIY HRT. The video is now unlisted. Please share. Okay, I will look into it. I'll admit, though, I'm a little bit apprehensive about sharing any medical information, because I don't want to give people bad information. I know that the intentions are pure, but I don't know enough to like co-sign it. So I might prefer to link to other resources like Aaron Reed and other activists who can give people better information, rather than just a straight up DI HRT. I've used that website, a certain DI HRT website, for information before, but in terms of just making HRT for yourself, I'm really apprehensive about giving people the details to do that, because I don't want to inadvertently hurt people. So I'll look into it though, for sure. We want people to be healthy and get the healthcare they need, but not at the expense of themselves. Okay, next one here is from Malon Miller. Thank you for the $5. I was born in 1998, and I remember when I was a kid, they have live lobster tanks at Walmart in the food section, and they sold pet fish. What happened? I remember that too. I'm glad that they don't anymore, because those fish were abused. You're expecting employees to take care of fish and do all this. The conditions were really bad. I remember at my Walmart, the one that was close to me, the fish were the tanks were always really, really dirty. Fish were just dying and dead. Yeah, I think that it's better at actual pet stores where they're trained to deal with them. Sam, thank you so much, Sam, for the $2. You hear that Riley Gaines' husband may get deported? I didn't watch the video. I bookmarked it. I saw somebody share her TikTok of her saying her British husband might get deported. Thoughts and prayers, Riley. Thoughts and prayers.
It's not happening. They'll find a way.
I mean, he's white. Yeah, he's white, and they're rich, so.
And they got the connections. She's
she could just literally probably tweet at Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Christy Simshauser, thank you for the $2. Elon Musk is not a Nazi. The Nazis make good cars.
That's a good joke. That's a good joke. That is a good joke. Well done, Christy. I think that's a solid joke. I mean, I don't know about y'all.
I agree.
That's a solid joke.
That's good. Zone Fanfic, thank you for the $5. It's early post inauguration, a bit of constructive criticism. You all are too complicit and should seriously consider a hotline. FTL of all that is good. I'm not necessarily. I'm open to constructive criticism, but I don't really understand what you mean with complicit. Like, do you mean complicit with like the doomerism? Because I think that would be fair. But sometimes it's cathartic to vent and to see people vent as well. But we try to balance that. We're trying our best here. Nicholas Riverin, thank you for the $5. Kind of off topic, but Elon playing autistic is like Cartman pretending he has Down syndrome and failing to win at the Paralympics in South Park. I mean, yeah, it's just not. I just refuse to accept that. I unequivocally reject that, and anybody who pushes that is just no. I no. Brian Schroed, thank you for the $5. Any advice on how to stay sane in 2025? How to not be overwhelmed by the fire hose of bad news without completely checking out? I think you really, really, really need to try to do something to get your mind off of it. Learn to draw, go on some walks if the weather is okay, play video games, watch movies, start a journal.
Get to know your neighbors. Right? Get to know your neighbors. Grow food or be friends with the people who do. Get to know your local farmers. Get hip to any crop shares that exist. Any mutual aid efforts. See what kind of involvement is possible there. Know who is on your city council. Know about your mayor. Know about your water board. All that stuff always matters the most, but it's about to matter even freaking more.
Yeah, and if you have like
by the way, I don't do all of those things, so I mean I'm also saying this to a mirror, but
right.
You don't have to do all of them all at once, but
yeah, if you have like if you can go to like the library, any events they hold, or a farmer's market, or even a bar, just like meeting people and trying to talk to people, just regular people, I think that will help you. If you disconnect from the internet on weekends at least, or on certain days, that too. Just give yourself permission to experience some joy, because you can't be like constantly plugged in an activist mode or resistance mode all the time. Like you need to remember that you're still a human being, and nonstop like fuckery is going to melt your brain. So like give yourself permission to just like have some fun from time to time and completely unplug. There is nothing wrong about that. Hypersane Demon, thank you so much for the $2. Hypersanity is greater than dark woke. Yes. Roland, thank you for the $10. Appreciate that. Here's $10. I enjoy the majority of what you do, although eventually I'd like to hear your thoughts on SRA, Pink Pistols, Arm Your Friends, etc.
Oh my god, dude, you have so many. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Maybe I should have went first. Oh my god, go ahead, keep going.
If you want, I could pause and let you.
No, keep going. It's all right. We already made it this far. Let's keep.
Okay, I'll try to hurry up. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the majority of what I do. Appreciate that. Milan Miller, thank you for the $10. I read 1984 a few times, and hearing mainstream media trying to normalize Trump always reminds me of the scene where they are torturing Winston, trying to get him to believe lies. Have always been truth. Yeah, 1984 is something that you can always go back to, and it's still like excellent. I feel like it's
I
more
feel that
relevant.
scene every time I'm on Twitter. I like every time I'm on Twitter. I mean, I just feel like there's a bunch of people going, well, 2 + 2 is 5. Like, no, it's still 4, dude. Like it's still 4. 2 + 2 is 4. I'm sorry. I know you keep saying it's 5, and a bunch of ridiculous people told you it's 5, but it is 4. I'm sorry. It's just, well, I don't accept that fact. Well, it doesn't freaking matter. It's still 4.
Yeah, no, it's a great book for this time, in particular. I get that it's like, oh, we read that in college, it's lame. No, it's still relevant. It's great. Arch Arturo, thank you for the $50. Really appreciate that. I listened Realm Slayer, a Warhammer Age of Sigmar audiobook, which is really well narrated, and now I'm reading Troll Slayer from Warhammer Fantasy. That's awesome. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Like getting into something like fantasy or whatever. I think that's a great thing to do these days. Unknown, thank you for the £5. As a British Gen Z person, you're all wrong. It's a jumper. Oh, well, there you go. Back to the
Nice.
sweater debate. All right. Saber Sky, thank you for the $2. Maybe we need to start calling sweaters jumpers. Okay, the British people have
I'm
weighed
down.
in.
Yeah, let's
The
go
British
for
have
it.
come. Here they
They've
they're
come.
here.
Gwick, thank you for the $5. Sweaters are knit out of yarn by Granny. All right, all right.
Best
They
ones.
sure are.
Indeed.
Milan Miller, thank you for the $20. A thought that scares me is that a future generation that isn't old enough to remember these times firsthand will believe an alternate version of history manufactured by fascists, and I will feel insane because I do remember. Well, it's our job to try to make sure that that doesn't happen as much as we can.
It's kind of
Well,
always been
documented.
that way to some degree. I mean, there's always
True.
been a little bit of that. I mean, there's always been, the victors write the history. But, back in the day, there was a guy named Howard Zinn and other people like that. And these days, it's like, we have the internet and whatnot. So, yeah, it's kind of up to everyone else to make sure that doesn't happen or to at least fight back.
We're documenting it all right now on YouTube. I feel like that counts, kind of.
One stream at a time.
Exactly. Hello, future historians. Zone Fanfic, thank you for the $10. To cut through the BS and flip the nail on its head, we must deep dive, understand the general cognitive dissonance, then set the standard. The public appears to believe the left does not have one. Yeah, it's hard because we can only do so much. We don't have the money that right-wing media outlets have, but, we try our best. Terabyte, thank you for the $2. Avian flu was confirmed in central New York in geese. Oh, lovely. Lovely. My God. Duke of Bread, thank you for the $4.99. Please tell Binder, Vipassana is not New Age spiritualist hippie. I am anti-theist. It's secular practice. It has been bothering me. Rip Michael. Well, Binder.
I don't even know what Vipassana is.
Well, it's definitely not New Age spiritualist hippie.
All right.
And that's what we've come to tell you.
Yes.
I don't know what it is either. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm out of the loop on this.
I'm gonna assume because I've joked at some point that the one area I didn't agree with Michael was his how he got into like New Age spiritual stuff, and because that's just not my thing. And I'm assuming that Vipassana or whatever it was is what Michael actually did, and I was painting a broad brush. That's my assumption.
Interesting. Thank you, Andrew S., for the 5 gifted subs. That is very, very kind of you. Really appreciate that. Thank you to Joshua Keller for the 5. Pinkerton was a fantastic album. I'd worry that today it sounds kind of incel-y. Huh.
I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so.
A lot of those. I mean, I don't know if you could. I don't think you would consider Weezer emo, but the topics of some of the songs, obviously, I would say there's some crossover with like real emo bands.
Sure.
So I could see. I've definitely gone back to some of those early Saves the Day songs and been like, ooh.
Sure.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You listen to that, and even at the time, you knew it was metaphorical. You still listen to it, and you're like, yeah, this didn't really age well, though, and I kind of get how this.
But at the same time, they still do come off like not like crazy incel types. They come across like just like poetic nerds trying to like say something like we were saying, like metaphorical to sort of. To me, it's not the same, but yeah, some of the lines.
And they were also literally right, and they were also literally teenagers, like quite literally. I mean, I think they were like 19 when Through Being Cool happened. So I mean, they kind of grew up, and that's just sort of how it works. Mike, do you know what we're talking about? By the way, I'm curious.
He does not.
Of course. Why would you insinuate that I don't? I agree.
No, I was curious. I didn't know.
%.
That's why
I agree unequivocally with you both.
All right.
On the subject of music, Milan sends $5 saying listening to OK Computer and Hail to the Thief albums on repeat is one of the few things keeping me sane these days. Music has been helping my mind. Yeah, I agree. Listen, I found this mashup. I can't remember the name, but if you Google Ethel Cain, Robin Dancing on My Own mashup, it is a fucking banger. And I feel like if you are LGBTQ of any kind, you're automatically predisposed to love the song. Or love
I
the
feel like
mashup.
if you're LGBTQ of any kind, you're automatically disposed to liking Robin, honestly.
Robin and Ethel Cain. I mean, it's just
yeah,
you
but
can't-
I think
so when you
but
combine
Robin
them
has
to
the longevity that Ethel Cain doesn't have yet.
oh, she
When I
will.
think-
She will.
When I think Robin, I think of like all the like alt New York City parties I went to a decade ago when when every LGBTQ person went insane when a Robin song came on. Yes.
Well, and it's when you combine them together, it's a magical result. And I love how all the comments of this mashup is like, this is the new anthem for every gay person ever. Like, it's just so funny. And it is, it's great. So yeah, I've been trying to listen to more music too to kind of like keep me sane. Heathen Granny, thank you for the $20. Very big super chat. Appreciate that. I wonder how are we going to fight back against the Orange Nuggets administration attacking women's and minorities in the genocide in Gaza? The Orange Nugget tried to remove citizenship from my people, Native Americans. Yeah, I mean, in various ways, I think that we already saw that you can push back on. There's a huge shitstorm over the federal funding freeze, and he backed down. So he's not a king. He's not, immune from public pressure. So there are things that can be done, and it's just a matter of whether or not there's the political will to fight him. The next one is going to be from Jones City. It says it was retracted. So I can't pull the. Oh no, here it is. Okay. $2. Storm Capital PP Poo Poo Nut on Everything. Well, hey, there you go. Thank you so much. I will do that. Nintendo Gaming Channel, thank you so much for becoming a member, and thank you for the $6.99 chat. If you want to support your two guests, what is your opinion? Horizon Zero Dawn character Ted Faro is based on Elon Musk's personality, narcissistic, richest. Oh, I never thought about that. I like the Horizon games. That's absolutely correct. He is based on that. I don't know if Ron or Matt have played. In fact, I'd guess and say they did not play Horizon. But yeah, I did not think about that. I need to replay those games because the story is incredible. Okay, next one here from Zone Fanfic. Thank you for the $10. The Democratic Party is undergoing a foundational change. I believe this makes it volatile. I think during this time, it is important for us to understand we set the standard and the power. Well, we can try to facilitate that change as much as we can, and we should. Thank you to Fly Chomper Fly for the $5.
Oh, what's up, Fly Chomper Fly? Good to
Ron
see you.
Placone here. Cool. Purple heart.
Thank
There
you for
you
the
go.
purple heart.
Okay, LOL. Thank you for the $5. What would you guys say is the difference between a liberal, progressive, and a leftist? I think a liberal is fundamentally capitalist and wants to just make tweaks to the system. A leftist is anti-capitalist, and they want to fundamentally change the system. They want workers to own the means of productions and a more equitable distribution of wealth overall. I'd view leftists as like basically socialists.
And I would say a progressive. Yeah. Well, I would say actually a progressive used to just be what a leftist was until that term got co-opted, and now it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
I mean, that's up for debate, but I would say that that's basically
I
what
would
it
consider. I would consider like Bernie Sanders, for example, a progressive. He's not a liberal, but he's not a leftist.
Yeah. So like maybe progressive is synonymous with like social democrat.
Yes.
Where you're
that's
significantly
fair.
to the left of liberals, but you're not quite like,
Yes.
we can have a little bit of injection of the capitalism, but very, very, very restrained.
Yeah.
And, the leftist is going, well, you guys are definitely cooler, but still not quite where we want to be.
Right.
Right.
No, I think that's fair.
Progressives and leftists can work hand in hand.
Yes,
Liberals
I agree.
cannot
I agree.
with progressives and leftists. Yes.
Right. Rolando Capella, thank you for the $5. Mike, I too have had to cover electronics, sporting goods, hardware, and auto departments on my own at Walmart. This did not happen 3 years ago. Yeah. So I never had to do auto because thankfully that was kind of like their own thing. But yeah, I had to cover basically like half of the Walmart. It is insane.
Did you mess with David's TV, Rolando? Was that you?
Unknown, thank you for the £5. Regarding HRT video, it's not medical advice exactly. It's advice on safety and medical services contacts you can safely. Okay, that is exactly what I think is the best kind of thing that I want to share. So thank you for clarifying. Yeah, I will definitely get that information out. Zone Fanfic, thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. Heed my warning, leftists are renowned for being reactionary. They hope and expect mayhem. Please watch Chase Hudges. Once you know this, every psyop. So I do not agree that leftists are renowned for being reactionary. I mean, you could say that some lefties are accelerationists, but I disagree with the assumption that they're reactionary. They're fundamentally anti-reactionary because reactionary is inherently conservative. So I wouldn't agree. But I am curious to see what you're talking about with this video, though.
I think when they become reactionary, that's when they go to the right pipeline.
That's
my, which is basically what you said. I mean, I would say that's kind of how it goes because it's like, when you're just reactionary, that's when you become susceptible to, those types of narratives. Because like, look, if you're on the left, especially in the place like the United States, you've been losing for literally 100 years. You don't have the bandwidth to be reactionary.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Yeah. Okay, so Nintendo Gaming Channel, thank you for the $2.79. Far Cry 5, the project at Eden's Gate cult is mega. Yeah, although with Far Cry 5, they made like for those who don't know, it's a video game where they made the like bad guys, this like right-wing religious cult, but they very clearly watered it down after getting backlash, or being worried about backlash, I should say, where it was going to be like a Christian evangelical parody type situation, but they made it completely unrelated, and it was not as impactful. It was actually pretty fucking lame and sanitized. It's corporate, like, it's one of those corporate activism type things where they sanitize it and sell it to the masses in a digestible format so as to not offend, the people on the right who might want to play it. Thank you to Fly Chomper Fly for the $2. Asimov's whole F series based on people forgot Earth. Well, thank you. Okay. Last but not least, we have Zone Fanfic with $4.99. Have you all seen Leave the World Behind, executive produced by the Obamas? Last super chat. I have seen it. I thought it was interesting, but the ending was dog shit, and fuck Obama for that ending, among other things. But that's all my super chats.
Okay.
I've not seen it. I saw his climate change thing.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I saw that where he basically talks about how important the climate is, and you're watching it and you're like, yeah, and you opened the Arctic to drilling when you said you wouldn't.
One more. Nintendo Gaming Channel. Avid on Horizon is exactly Bernie Sanders. I don't remember Avid, but I do remember the Elon Musk character.
All right, let's go.
I'll be right back.
Chat.
Go pee.
Oh, you're just gonna. All right. Is this who's this for? This isn't for. I don't see this in my YouTube.
This is for you.
Did you miss this one? That's for me? No, it's not.
Maybe it's for David.
Maybe so.
You guys are so humble. No one's taking credit for it.
Taco Face.
So diplomatic.
Super chat. What's it like being the best looking host that we don't know who it's for? That we don't have no idea. I don't see it in my YouTube chat for my own stream. Oh boy! All right. Well, it was
someone's the best looking host.
Yeah, we'll just never know. Thank you, Taco Face Fart. What a name. The Tungsten Wire with a super chat. New York is red. Let's go Red Bulls. Absolutely not. New York is blue. Let's go NYCFC. All right. Let's go.
So y'all have two MLS teams then, and that's what that is.
We do, but the Red Bulls actually play in New Jersey, so they're not really in New York. So that's why, I don't get why you would be a fan of the Red Bulls if you were in New York, because New York has a team.
I feel no, so I mean, here we got we got the Galaxy, and then we got the LAFC, which is sort of like the LAFC is sort of like the more working class team. But I actually go a step further. I like United League Soccer, and my team is the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And then my, international team is Forza Napoli, because that's just my family's team.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm a MLS guy, and NYCFC is definitely the more funded team. They're backed by Man City, so they aren't if you're going by like who's paying what for players, it's Red Bull's paying less, but also the Red Bulls are a New Jersey team. They play in New Jersey. And NYCFC plays at Citi Field and Yankee Stadium, and they're building the first ever soccer stadium for NYCFC in New York City. Then right now, right in Queens. So it should be up in 2027, and then New York City will have their own soccer stadium. Let's go to Woke Crypto Bro with a $100 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Woke Crypto Bro. What I meant was, how about I use my Trump scam coin winnings to help support scam economy? You just keep doing what you're doing, bud. You do great work. It absolutely is just gambling. Crypto should be regulated and taxed just like the lotto, casinos, etc. Well, thank you, Woke Crypto Bro. I gotta ask, if you don't mind sharing, how much did you make off the Trump coin?
I know, I'm
If you're
curious.
just throwing $100 to everybody on this show.
When did you? I mean, what was the right time? I mean, it had to be. Was it like a matter of hours?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when was the right time to just be like, I'm out?
Right. I saw it about 3 hours after it launched for the first time, and it was at around $10. And I was like, ooh, a meme coin at $10? This is the absolute worst time to jump in. And I was wrong. Meme coins don't usually get to multiple dollars. Usually they don't even pass the pennies threshold.
Right.
But this one did. And it hit, I think it peaked at 75, but then it's been on a downward spiral since. But my brother said he saw it shortly after it launched, and it was at 75 cents, and he's kicking himself for not buying any.
Yeah, I mean,
mean,
you could have gotten the timing right there.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know with these things. That's the thing. Like, it is completely run by insiders, and one that's backed by Trump. You have no idea when they were going to be like, fuck all you, we're pulling that rug and we're selling all of our shit and we're out of here. Like, it was
Philosophers have warned for years against ever doing anything like this. Like, if you read like Proudhon and stuff like that, it's like they warned against ever having a society where you just build capital on top of capital on top of capital for just the damn hell of it, because you're not actually making anything. So it's like just the idea that we have like the Wall Street system and like the stock system, like it's just mind blowing that it even exists. Like we should have never done it. It's just I'd like to think in the long run, if humanity makes it, it will be looked on as just a shameful time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even if the thing is though, like to make like the crazy money some people make on this, you need to actually throw in a lot of money too. Like, if you throw in $100 and you double your money, wow, you made $100. You got $200. But if you throw in $250,000 and you double your money, you just made $250,000 and I have $500,000 now. Like,
it takes money to make money.
Yeah.
That's the lesson.
Right, yes. But also, you're throwing $250,000 into a Trump meme coin.
Right.
Which literally nothing could be riskier. I mean,
there's zero intrinsic value to it. And there was one, I covered a Reddit post on one of my videos this week where somebody had put $700K into it. They had a problem, they said, and then they lost. Or no, they put 1.2 million and they lost 700K.
Jesus.
And they're like, I don't know what to do. It's debt, and I don't want to tell my wife. She might leave me. It's like, bro, the fact that you did that in the first place, she should fucking leave you, even if you won money. Like, what the fuck? If you gained, she should have left you for doing that. That's just insane behavior.
Yeah. Oh man. It's easy to look at it after it's already pumped and be like, oh, I should have invested. But it also could have been one of those coins where you put in money and then everyone literally sold off right after you bought, and you're left without anything. It literally, it's Monday. What is it? Monday morning quarterback, right?
Mhm.
Like that's the phrase.
Yeah, I mean, we still haven't heard from the Hawk Tui girl, have we?
She went to
Like,
sleep a couple of months ago.
does anyone know where she is?
She said she went to bed the last we heard from her, right?
No, she did. So 2 or 3 weeks after the Hawk Tua coin failed, I wrote about how, so this was like mid-December. I wrote about how she hasn't been seen since. She stopped posting. She hasn't posted a new episode of her, what was a weekly podcast, all of a sudden was missing for weeks. And so I wrote about it for Mashable. And then literally the next day, I get an email and with a statement from her people, and she released a statement, her first time hearing from anyone. The first time anyone heard from her, I should say, was that day after I wrote about how she disappeared. But I thought like, oh, she's releasing a statement. The statement said she's going to work with the people who lost their money to like go after the people who like hired her to make the coin. Like she's claiming it wasn't hers. Like she was hired to promote it, and a crypto company was completely behind it. Like she didn't make any more
honestly
than what they paid her.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah,
I don't think she knew anything about what the fuck they were doing.
It'd be funny if she sent you a letter sealed in saliva. And they were like, Matt, we have a statement for you.
Right. But on top of that, though, like I thought, like, oh, okay, it's been 2 or 3 weeks. She's putting out that statement. I guess she's crawling out from under the rock, and she's going to be out there now. Well, it's now Friday morning here on the East Coast. Tomorrow is February 1st, and she hasn't put out a new podcast.
I've been waiting. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of hers, and she hasn't. Yeah, I'm disappointed.
And she literally released the last podcast that she did, like the last episode she did, the day before Hawk Tua coin dropped. So it's not like before it launched. So it's not like, oh, like it just so happens she was taking a break. No, like she very clearly ruined her career over this meme coin. I mean, the career was her saying how she spit on a penis. But
she hawked a loogie on a
career.
dick specifically.
She ruined her career nonetheless.
Her 15 minutes ended a little quicker. She only got like after the 10th minute, it was.
Well, I think her 15 minutes already went for like well beyond what 15 minutes should have been to begin with. Mm-hmm. So yeah. All right, let's go to the next super chat here. We got I lost them. Here we go. All right, here we go. Mortified Penguin with a super chat. Love y'all. Gotta know Binder. Favorite punk bands. Oh boy. This is hard.
That's really hard because like you got to be a little more specific. Like, well, name an era, name a decade, name a subgenre. I mean, I hate to be, but that's just the truth.
Right now, I'll say the band I've seen live the most in the past year or so. Also, this is relative to they're also a band that has come and played in New York City more than other bands I like. But Apes of the State, great folk punk band.
Yeah. Central Pennsylvania, so they're not too far.
Yeah. I've seen them 3 times in the past year, I believe, and they're going to be playing here again in May. The last show I went to was to show you the range of punk band subgenres I go for. I saw one of the Blood Brothers reunion shows in mid-December, just a couple of weeks ago, and that was great too. So there we go. Tokyo Hans with a super chat. Matt is a crypto trader, right? Oh, I thought you were going to do the play on words and say that I'm a trader the other way. But all right, I actually have not done any crypto trading.
I have some Bitcoin, but I fell into it. Like I still don't really fully understand it, but I fell into it, and I'm just kind of like, well, I don't know. Hope it works.
Yeah, I did. I have told people how I have bought. I did. buy some crypto like many, many years ago when I was reporting on it for the first time and like just trying to fully understand how it worked and see how difficult or easy it was. But I've never like sold any. Like it's probably still sitting there. Maybe I should just sell it, get rid of it, whatever it's at, just so I have the extra whatever it is. Probably worth less than what I put into it. Probably like $20. All right. Let's go to the next super chat. Archangel with a $10 super chat. I really wonder how our country will recover from this administration. It's only been 1.5 weeks and he is already causing so much damage. I can't imagine what our country will look like in 2028. Yeah, I mean, look at the difference between how the country went from 2017 to 2020 and then 2020 to 2024. I mean, I would say both the past, the Obama years weren't such great shakes either, obviously. But I would say, as the bounce back from the Bush administration, it was a sort of low bar that they were able to, I guess, slightly get above. And I would say those first 2 years of the Biden administration looked like they were going to do that, like an extremely low bar from the administration before them. And then they were slightly raised above it. But 2023 and 2024 was an absolute shit show for the Biden administration. So we're coming off of 8 really bad years and going into 4 more really bad ones.
Yeah, I think it's a societal decay that we just haven't really bottomed out on yet. So
yeah,
I try not to dwell on it too much because it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah. You start thinking about it and catastrophizing, and you're like, "Oh shit."
Well, because I used to tell myself that, where I'm like, "Well, this has got to be the bottom," and then it's not. So it's like, "Well, stop saying that," because like you don't know what it's going to be. Nobody does, so you just kind of got to roll with it.
Things could always get worse.
Yeah.
Rachel Atwood with a super chat. Ask Ron about thoughts, rants, and cold coffee. Okay.
Oh,
Ron,
thanks for that, Rachel. I appreciate that. That's actually probably the thing about my origin story, really. Because I made this little segment called Thoughts, Rants, and Cold Coffee, and David Pakman started playing it. This was years and years ago when he was still involved with TYT Network. So David Pakman started playing it. And then simultaneously, I brought in Lee Camp for a show. Lee and I did a show together. And this was back when he was still not directly affiliated with TYT Network, but he was like adjacent to them. So then I met some people that worked at TYT and they were like, you should do these things on our network. And I was like, well, that'd be cool. So I did. And then whenever I'd go out to LA, I would do stuff in their studio. That was back when they had all the different shows and they had stuff in studio. And then that's how I met Jimmy Dore. And then when I moved out to LA, started writing there. So yeah, that actually is a big sort of origin story type thing.
That's cool.
I think the last one was in like 2011 or something.
Wow.
But thanks, Rachel. That's a big throwback. I appreciate that super chat very much. And I hope you'll get to check out my movie, Left at Wall.
We were talking about Saves the Day earlier. Honestly, sounds like
I know, right?
Early Saves the Day album name or something.
There's been some throwbacks. There's been some big throwbacks on this stream.
Let's go to Jay Cass. Anyone stoked to see Sam Cedar versus 100 conservators? Wait, what is this? What are you talking
about?
Personality?
They're referencing a Jubilee panel where it's 1 versus like 25 or 100, where it's 1 person and 25 people debate. Right. They want Sam Cedar.
Is Sam
to be
doing
on.
one? Is Sam doing?
That's
one?
a thing that exists.
Not that I know of.
You can
it's
debate
a thing that
25.
Exists. 25 woke libs versus Ben Shapiro or vice versa.
That sounds like horrible, but maybe kind of cool at the same time. I'd want to be the one. I'd want to be like one leftist versus whoever else.
They did one of these with Ben Shapiro, like Ben Shapiro versus 25 liberal college students or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then they did one with Charlie Kirk. And then they did one with Destiny that was like Destiny versus 25 conservatives. They did one Pete Buttigieg. Mm-hmm. Honestly, though, when I look at it here, it sounds like that because OnlyFans creators are going through the same trend here, where it's one. It's like one creator takes on 100 guys or something like that.
I'd want to.
It sort of looks like that right now, honestly.
I'd want to have it be members of Congress. I would just want like just 25 random, and it could be Republicans, Democrats. It just has to be like relatively right wing, and you just gotta see how you do.
It could be fun.
Oh, wait,
I will say Ben Shapiro got clapped by a trans dude. Got clapped by him. If you all haven't seen that, watch the clip.
I think I've seen that video actually.
Oh God, it was
think I've seen
fucking
that.
brilliant. Yeah, he did not know what to say.
Wait, Sam, the chat is telling me Sam did it. He did it on Monday. He shot it with Jubilee.
He actually did?
He did it. Yeah.
So it was 25 conservative people.
Was it 100? Like this person said, or was
100
it 25
conservative
like the other
people.
one?
Are they fucking with us?
I mean, how long would that have to go on for? Like 100 people.
This isn't a super chat. This isn't a super chat, but Goobular with a chat post. Destiny gangbangs 25 Nazis. Oh my God. Okay, so Sam was on Jubilee. Wow.
That would be amazing if so.
So how do you
I'm looking
debate
forward
like
to that.
100 people with the same bad ideas? Just
Coming out in
100
February, apparently.
Oh, okay. So that's awesome. They have to try to run to the chair. The main person will say,
Oh,
okay, here's
wait,
my
I've
topic.
seen this. Okay.
Right.
Yes, you run to the chair and then you're like, well, here's my thing. Yeah, it would be fun to be the one.
Mm-hmm.
That would actually be pretty fun. Just a bunch of right wingers just run to that chair.
I feel like I have a rotten enough brain that I would probably enjoy it as much as it pains me to admit that. And I'm not a debater, but I feel like that would be fun. The fact they're all saying that Sam talks about it, so that's fucking awesome.
Did Sam share any information about it, or he just said it was coming out?
He said it's true. What?
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I guess we'll have to see it.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Those videos get a lot of views. Like some of those got like 10, 15 million views.
Oh,
This
they
could be
blow
big
up. Yeah.
yeah. All
Mid-February,
right,
according to Bayphoto.
all right, let's go to the next chat here. Chris with a super chat. The enemy of my enemy is my friend is the Dems' entire electoral strategy. Yes.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it doesn't work.
Nope.
Right.
Kowalski with a super chat. May John Brown's spirit guide us all. Looney Tunes 9000 with a super chat. Let's be real. The only people that fall for the Christianity shit is the baby boomers as they waste their money on church donations. I don't know. Kowalski with another super chat. Oligarchs will raise the food prices and blame the farmers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they always do it.
As our resident farmer. Tokyo Hans with a super chat. Last time Trump was in was somewhat good in Japan. Started directly trading with Mexico. Mexican food boom now, and cheap avocados. Signed the biggest trade deal in history with EU. Got relatively cheap Euro goods. Good luck, US. Right, but last time you had Abe around before the doohickey got him. So
Tokyo rules. I freaking love Tokyo. Such an amazing place.
I would love to go to Tokyo.
You gotta go. Yeah, it's amazing. You gotta go. I went last year, and it's just you
did
go
you? That's my
around
dream.
you go around a city like that, especially living in a place like Los Angeles. You go around Tokyo and you see all the not traffic they have because it's not a driving culture at all. And you go like, there's no reason why we should be living the way we live. Like, there's just no freaking reason for it. And everyone's like, oh man, Japan, they're in the future. No, they're in the present. We're fucking in the past. That's what it is.
Right.
All right, let's go to Piano Zeno with a super chat. Don't be a rat. Walking out of Best Buy with a TV is based. Live and let live.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not, how do I
Totally.
even know? Why would you presume someone's stealing it too? Like, you have no idea.
God judges, I don't.
Right.
That's right. It's
Luke
still in God's hands.
Yeah. Luke W with a super chat. Didn't get to watch the show live last week, but I love to see Matt repping the Dillinger 4 shirt. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I saw them
do
in
appreciate
Chicago
that.
last year. And they're a great band. And you know what? Respect to Green Day, because giving them some money was the right thing to do.
Wait, Green Day. What's the story there?
I forget which song, but there was a Dillinger 4 song that was pretty much the American Idiot riff that was before American Idiot. And I don't think Billy Joe stole it. I mean, I'm sure he didn't, but it was probably just a subconscious thing. And some people called it out, and I've seen this online. I guess I can't confirm 110% that it's true, but allegedly Green Day did say, "Hey, yeah, this was a little too close. We're sorry, it wasn't intentional, and here's some money." Which I just think that was the right thing to do. No hard feelings. It was just like, all right, you made it right.
Now that I know they do that, I'm gonna start making riffs just like Green Day songs, backdate them as far as I can, and then be like, "Hey, wait a minute."
There'll be something to try.
Adam Sways, but that is awesome that they did that. Yeah. Guamu with a super chat. Sorry to send you tariffed pesos. I'll work the day when Matt asked to read his super chats first. I'll worry the day when Matt asked to read his super chats first. Well, I usually keep mine last because I usually, it's close between me or Mike, but I would say I usually have a little bit more than Mike. But Mike had, I think, more super chats than anyone has ever had on this show just tonight. Like this was
a lot, yeah.
Insane for Mike, yeah. Adam Swayze with a super chat with no text, just thanking me, I guess. Thank you so much, Adam Swayze. Ryan Lennon fan with a super chat. The way Americans vote shame is incredibly cult-like. Yes,
it is.
Mm-hmm. Sel with a super chat. I am not voting for Democrats in 2026 or 2028. It's time we need to stop supporting them. They're never going to do jack for us. They hate us. Well, I agree with you for the most part, but there are the good politicians are, the few good politicians are Democrats. Or in Bernie's case, like caucuses with the Dems. You don't have to, you can't depend on electoral politics in general. So if you are going to vote and partake, them's the choices, Andrew S, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate that. Arenza with a super chat. Bad religion are always on point when saying, how could hell be any worse?
Yeah. Their song Los Angeles is Burning really hit home the past few weeks. That was like the first thing I spotted when it was all going down. I'm like, well, at least there's a banger about this
already. Yeah.
Yep.
Logan Hill with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Logan. Immigrant rights groups are busy with legal issues right now. Any ideas of what to do to help locally? Haven't seen much outreach. I'm posting flyers around town that have resources. Sharing posts online isn't enough. That's a great idea, and I think that is very helpful. We're very insular in general. Like, just not even just talking about people who are leftists or share our politics. I'm just talking about like people who pay attention to the news online in general. It's a very small circle. It may seem big because we're in it, but it's actually a very small percentage of the population. So yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Like just get it out there so people see the signs of what they can do, what their rights are, who they could contact, who can help them. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and any local orgs that help with that organization. I know here in LA, we have a number of organizations that specialize in that type of stuff. And then we're pretty lucky. We have a lefty city controller named Kenneth Mejia, who has been kind of blowing on the whistle on the city budgets. And that office has also been putting out stuff like these are your rights as an immigrant or just as a renter, especially because they're trying to jack up rents. So yeah, that stuff is super important now.
Kenneth is awesome. I've had him on my show.
Yeah, Kenneth's cool. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Max Boyer with a super chat. You guys really need to start a Leftist Mafia Discord server. It would be great to have a place to gather with other fans of y'all. We actually, very early on the show, we actually set one up. And I don't know what happened.
It's still there, I believe.
It is. It sort of fell off when the Triangle left because she was sort of in charge of that. And we got it back from her when she left. And it's sort of been sitting there since. You know what? I think the show has grown enough to the point where I think people would be active in there Let's get it going again, right, Mike? Don't you think so? We should get that going again.
I think so. I know that I have a Discord for my show, and it's operated completely independent of me. I don't have anything to do with it. So, like, if people want one for Leftist Mafia, I think they should. Yeah, gotta get that.
We
going.
have one already, so I think it'd be silly for people to try to start from the beginning with
Yeah,
people
yeah.
already in. Yeah, so let me look into getting that up into running shape. Make sure
I
there's
think
no
that'd be great
spam
for
or any
people.
bullshit in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Max. The Tungsten Wire with a super chat. I got you to say hashtag Let's Go Red Bulls. So who's the real winner? I'm actually a Toronto FC fan. LMAO. Anyways, you're all welcome to Canada. Ooh, Toronto FC fan. I'm pretty sure we beat Toronto FC like every time we play them. Mr. Monkey Devil with a super chat. Just got back from a mannequin pussy show. They rock and it felt good to be in a crowd with like-minded people too. Not familiar with them. I'll have to check them out.
I'm not familiar either.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought you all knew. I'm like, is that a band or like, is it literally mannequin genitalia?
No, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a punk band.
I
but
just
I'll have to
played
check them
Silent
out.
Hill 2 remake, so I'm a little bit touchy about mannequins right now.
Ah, okay.
Played the game, you know. It's scary.
B-Wood 171 with a super chat. Yellowstone Super Volcano 2028. Right, yeah. Mike, there's a bunch of super chats in here that are not for me. I don't know who they're for. Did we read them and just didn't uncheck them?
There's more that came in from me. I can.
Hold on. Oh, I got one more from the Synapsis member for 18 months super chat. May as well spend this. Thanks all for doing this, y'all. It's a good time for the end of the week. Yes. Oh man, every week is gonna feel like that. Go ahead, Mike. Go jump back in. My God.
Okay, so let's see here. Nintendo Gaming Channel. Thank you for the $6.99. Avad is Progressive Karja. Avad is Sun King. Avad by personality, etc. It's pro everyone like Bernie Sanders. I will replay the game at some point, but yeah, I'll have to look for those. I'll have to play it more critically next time. Kyle G, thank you for the $5. I apologize for being an asshole. That's all. Good work, Kyle. I did not remember you being an asshole, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Maybe he just had to let people know that in general.
Okay,
Just take the apology, man. Just take it.
Yeah,
I accept your
I don't know.
apology, Kyle. I appreciate that.
We've all been assholes at times, so you just got to be like, yeah.
Exactly.
You were an asshole, man. Yeah.
Everyone's been an asshole.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dream come true for Sam. LOL. Yeah, that's like Sam's dream to debate 25. Fucking, if they give him libertarians, he'll be in 7th heaven. Kyle G again. Thank you, bro. I reference John Brown all the time. Hell yeah, and reference to Kowalski's tweet. And then the last one here is the coup, Aaron Cam, and the One Drops, The Dead. I think that's probably bands. Okay, so this last one here I think is for Ariana. This is a Naked Dixiecrat government. And then the other ones are just ones that either I missed or didn't start. Might as well read them. There's just 2. Both from Zone Fanfic, $4.99. Thank you. Panel, please read my last super where I talk about the Southern strategy. I did read that one.
Yeah, I read that one.
And another one, autism goes out the window when you make over 8 figures. Well, that's it. That is every single super chat.
All right. Oh, wait. Over on Twitch, really quick, I just have 3. NomDayNet, resubscribe for 1 month at tier 1. Subscriber for 3 months. Thanks, mods, for banning that jerk from earlier. Oh, there was a jerk in the chat. Didn't even know. But thank you, mods. Not My Michael cheered 500 bits. I was at the Blood Brothers show at Warsaw in December. Oh, you were? But there was like 3 of them. They did 3 at Irving Plaza and 3 at the Warsaw. I went to the Warsaw one, the last one, the Monday night one. I thought it was the best time to go because everyone would have already seen the other shows, so it'd be the most empty of the shows. And I think right. It was pretty packed, but from the pictures I saw, the earlier ones, not as packed. So I was able to have more fun, I think. Robot Monkey Cat with a super resubscribe for 30 months at tier 1. Geez, subscriber for 39 months. Sam talks about his Jubilee experience on the January 28th show after the headlines. I'll have to go check that out. All right, folks, that's the show. This was great. Ron, it was great to have you on. It was great to talking with you, and I think it's the first time you and me at least,
Thank you,
ever were on
Kyle.
the same show. So
Yeah,
it's nice
no, I
meeting
don't. I
you
don't think we've
finally.
ever been on a thing. So yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. And real quick, if I can just Left at Wall is my movie. You can romplacone.com is my website. I'm Romplacone on all socials. Left at Wall is the movie. Just Left at Wall. Please check it out. It's out on
It's
Apple
good.
TV, YouTube Movies. It's out on Google
I'm
Play,
gonna check it
Xbox.
out.
Mike's seen it. And I did the wrong. Wait, no, I did it. Yeah, there we go. It's the opposite. Yeah, Mike has seen it. And I'm gonna be using your testimonial soon. Thanks again for that. And yeah, so
Absolutely.
Left at Wall, please check it out. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, take care. Do we want
Peace.
to raid Tyler Oakley?
Yeah, let's raid whoever you want to raid. Let's do it.
Yeah, Kyle, thank you for the $20 last minute. Am I wrong in thinking that we need to start practicing organizing? No, you are not. And thank you for the last minute super chat. Really appreciate that. Very generous.
Just
All right, let's
Tyler
raid
Oakley.
Tyler Oakley. Yeah, one word. He's an old school YouTuber, one of the big ones, but now he's just like a leftist and he streams like video games, and he's a cool guy. You gotta bring him on the show. That'd be fun. Because he's a massive. He used to be a huge YouTuber. Like
oh shit! This guy, he was huge. What happened?
He was huge. He decided to stop doing YouTube, and now he's just like a huge lefty. He tweets about like Israel Palestine, and like he's on the same. But it would be really fun to bring him on the show. So we should raid him, and you all should say he should come on Leftist Mafia.
He's got a huge YouTube channel. He should really. He's even if he doesn't want to do. Oh no, he still posts on there. Oh, not a lot. 9 days ago and then 6 months ago were the last 2 videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was him and I didn't want to do what I've been doing, I would still use that 6.7 million subscriber audience to.
Yeah, you want to do some of that. You don't want that.
And he's fun.
Especially if you're a lefty now. Come on, he'd automatically be the biggest leftist on YouTube if he just started using that channel for lefty politics.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, Ron. Have a great night.
Take care.
You too.
Yeah, last time I was on Twitch and I rated him, he was playing Animal Crossing in a French maid outfit. It's funny as fuck.
That's cool. Let's
I was like, this is awesome. All right, are you ready?
Did you press it yet? Hold on, I'm pressing start rate. Did you
Yeah.
press start rate already? Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, I finished the countdown.
All right, let me just. It's always the best when they get sent one after the other. Boom, boom.
Right.
All right, I guess we could say goodbye to everyone, though. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. It was a great episode, and we will see you all next week. I'm pressing raid now. You ready, Mike?
Same.
All right, here we go.
Take care, everyone.